Tonight, we bring you this week's Flight Sim news with thanks to SayIntentions. We check out the Black Square Commander 114, the FSReborn Sting S4 goes native, we have Dundee from UK2000, and Zach from MOZA joins us for a chat. Hello there. Hello? Hello. How are you getting on? Jesus then. I had a terrible bad old knockout, so I'm alright now, but jeez. So there it was, right? Yesterday. Normal productive day. Took the shower down to the shower people. Only to be told, nothing wrong with your shower. There's low pressure in the area. Put it back together and you'll be grand. Oh, Jesus. So I put it all back together, turned it on, and it was grand. Then I went about doing my usual things that I do. It's me. And I did my usual things, but I had a bit of a headache. I was like, Jesus, the pain in the head, right? And then the crack really started. I started seeing like black dots where I was trying to look. I was like, I can't read exactly where I'm looking at. And then I was like, this has happened before. Don't worry, Murph, it'll be grand. So I continued on, like the muppet that I am, and then I started getting more of these black spots. And then when I closed my eyes, it looked like a lightning bolt. It's like, what? Ah, no, I'm in trouble. Ugh. Immediately went into the kitchen, grabbed some, whatever they were, paracetamol, and I decided to lie down. Yes, that'll cure it. No, didn't cure it. Woke up with the mother of all migraines. And it was like 7 o'clock yesterday evening. I was like, right, look, I'll figure it'll be grand. I'll get through this flight, sure. And then I felt myself getting very pale. It would have been an interesting stream, but like, such was the headache. There was fluid, right? Huey and Ralph in swinging form last night. Huey, Ralph, right? So anyway, I slept it off. And I woke up this morning with another headache, but not as bad, and went down to the vet and got a kick in the arse, and here we are, friends. Yeah. Ooh. I hate missing streams. It is the one thing I cannot stand, and I had to miss one last night. I am raging. We will make up for it, though. There'll be a Sunday stream, and, don't worry, we'll get the time back, but I hate missing streams. I love this. Getting to hang out with you guys, this is what I do. Supposed to be doing other things, but I love this too much.
Can I get a refund?
No, you can't. Shag off. But we're back anyway, with a sore head-ish and a sore throat-ish. But sure, listen, we'll be grand. We'll get through it. There's only a bajillion tabs to go through with news as well, right? You're watching too many screens. Probably. But sure, listen, the alternative is we do it in the nighttime. You're very welcome in. Look, that's now. Jesus, that makes that look worse. This is way easier for me. Well, how are you getting on anyway? Right? Could you imagine? Jesus. But yeah, that looks better. Thanks, Mr. Dan. Yeah. What a right sound, lad. And what do these buttons do? I forget what these do. Oh, that's the back of the head cam. Oh, look, that's where that lives. Oh, very fancy. Right now, what if I turned off the lights from here? Now, all you can see is the back of my glorious cranium. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? No, we better not do that. How about we just... Let's just pretend nothing happened at all. And, you know, it was a great stream last night. Glad you could tune in. We had a blast. Yeah, we had a blast. Oh, but anyway, we're back. And, well, hopefully now, no more distractions or... Yeah, but maybe, but like no more distractions or problems. Right. Yeah, I'll promise to not try and get headaches if you promise to, you know, be nice. That's what it is. Jesus, there's buttons. Yeah, right, that's what it's all about. But tonight it is busy. We've a lot of news to catch up on with some very cool stuff just after getting released from SayIntentions. Very much looking forward to that. Jeez, there's buttons everywhere. Well, we get to check out some add-ons. So we were looking at the Commander 114. We flew that last Friday night, brand new release. Didn't really get to grips with all its features. We'll have a closer look this evening, right? And also a brand new Dundee scenery. Dundee in Scotland and just north of Edinburgh, around the corner, up a bit, near the bridge. We're going to check that one out. And then FSReborn, who have delivered the finest business jet in all the land with the Phenom. Well, Raoul has updated the Sting S4, his very first aircraft, the Sting S4, complete with a ballistic parachute. That's now native to Flight Sim 2024, which is terribly exciting. And of course, Zach is going to join us in a little while from MOZA to talk all about MOZA and all the releases and the cool stuff and just a general how you getting on. So it's going to be a good one, lads. Hang on, I've buttons here somewhere. You might hear me, it's of a bit of the voice sounds a bit. Right, I was busy today. I was talking a lot today and my voice is like that. So hopefully we'll try and keep it smooth and nice. Or as Cyrus likes to say, Murph, just turn down your microphone and everyone's happier. Right, that's what we'll try and do. But anyway, who's here looking this Wednesday? Currently 15 degrees in the Premier County of Tipperary, here in Murph Manor, and it's 23 degrees inside in the man cave. It's all happening now, right? Yes, the Rafale also got released by Azure Poly. That's on next week's plan, because I jumped into it, surprisingly. I hopped into it, and I need to learn it before I kind of showcase it, because I'll be like, what is this? But ooh, yeah, right, things that explode. But anyway, lots and lots of cool stuff are happening in the sim for sure. Filthy is here, good evening. Malky Mac, you're very welcome in. Eamon 1973, welcome aboard. Mech Manser is here. Vacuum is in the house. Elric, good evening. Hope you're well, buddy. Tarnish, happy hump day. Hope you're well. North Coast Mike, good evening. Creo from County Mayo, good evening to you, sir. Hope you're well. Sunjammer's here. Welcome in. Fierce Wolf, looking fierce. Gent Wolfie, welcome in, man. Idle Cutoff is here. Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. Good to see you, bud. CP65, welcome in. Liptorius is here. Welcome aboard. Now, let me see. Buttons. Sir Camsalot. Madude from Angoshlan Nua. Conasatatu. Balbro is here, welcome in. Spitfire RAF 100 is in the chat. Commander Balosh, you're very welcome aboard. Fierce Wolf checking in from Alberta, Canada. Nice. Willow How Much checking in from Lancaster in the United Kingdom. Nice. APU Inspector is here. A very happy birthday to you, man. 285 streams in a row, and we're halfway to the weekend. Good to see you, buddy. Hope all is well. D White, good evening. Welcome aboard. Michaela is here. Welcome in. Now, enjoying it, buddy. Sumner is checking in from Milwaukee. Good to see you, buddy. Bell Bro, welcome aboard. Airlock Doc is here. When you are here early, but Twitch never shows the chat or the start notice. Really? Airlock, good to see you, bud. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Madness, Airlock. You will get the alerts on our Discord whenever I press the go live button. If you subscribe to the role of live alerts. I mean, there's technology deployed here. Even I don't even question it. Yes, make it so. and it's made so. Brilliant, right? But anyway, Stu Snape is here. Happy hump day. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're feeling better. You're very kind. And then he put in after it, you lightweight. Yeah, thanks, Stu. Yeah, great bunch of lads. Yeah, I'm feeling better now, thanks. Mugan is here, welcome aboard. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, we're all back in a row. 200 in a row for Viper Strike. You mad ticket, you. Good to see you, bud. Lurking for the news, Sumner. Great to see you, pal. Today Moranian is here. Happy Wednesday. Home Wrecker checking in from County Cork. Welcome in. How's she cutting? Vasco from MSFS add-ons.com. There's a name I didn't mess up. Vasco, it's great to see you, bud. We're going to be checking out MSFSaddons.com version 2. I'll try that again. MSFSaddons.com version 2. Jesus, that was very impressive, wasn't it? That should be on the loading screen when you press the button. Fireworks and everything. Brilliant. Hope you're well, buddy. Welcome in. Sim Guy is here. Good to see you. Who else come in now? Stick Figures here. Haggard, welcome in. Proby Peach checking in from Arizona. Good to see you, buddy. What was your man's name? He calls it Arizonia. Arizonia. But it's not Arizonia, but if it was, you know. Arizona. Welcome in, welcome in. Visualize is here. Good to see you. Mr. Dan is here. Dan, did you sort the AI optimizer gadget? Hopefully you did. Gar Gaming from County Galway, welcome aboard. Now, where's this now? I'm under-murphed, says Jetlag Zombie. Could be over-murphed. Anthony V, Kiauda, hope all is well. Jesus, there's buttons. Music, mad joke. Look what he did. Have you got over the hangover? If it was a hangover, at least I'd say. But, well, maybe I'm at the age that the hangover doesn't hit you until 2 days later. I don't know. No, it was a pesky migraine. Oh, come here. So I'd have to show you. Hang on. I know I dropped it. Hang on. Me trying to explain this now would be like the cat trying to do poetry. So what this is brilliant. This is a mask, would you believe, that's frozen. A frozen mask straight out of the freezer. And how this works, you put the whole mask, you put it over your mallet and it covers your eyes. You effectively turn into Batman without the ears. And the idea is, it's for migraines. It freezes your noggin. However, right, this is brilliant. I'll show you how it works. Now hang on, I can't see or hear anything. But we do it in the name of science, right? Make sure I don't mess me hair now. Oh Jesus, it's freezing. I know it's freezing, it's terrible. Hang on, would you? Right. So this is how the gadget works. Look, Jesus, it's cold. You wear this and it oh Jesus, that's proper. It's freezing. You wear that and it's supposed to freeze your head. Mother of God, it's like, look, there's ice on the thing. Do you remember the ice bucket challenge? Consider this as bigger brother, right? It's called, I don't know what it's called. It's called something I can't pronounce. Oplery? Jesus, my head is cold. So anyway, yeah, that didn't fix the migraine, but very good for anyone who suffers a migraine. Effectively, it's a gel pack. Turn that down. It's a gel pack and you put it in the freezer. It freezes the gel. You wrap it around your mallet head. You look like Batman without the bat, yeah, right? And I put it back in the freezer. Hang on. Like, it works. Do you know what I mean? It absolutely works. But look at the big red head in me now, look. Like, it's proper freezing. But anyway, that was the gadget. How did we get onto that subject anyway? Oh yeah, look at that. Muse fan with 10 gifted tier 1 subs going out to the community. Muse fan, you legend. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Muse fan, do be sure to say thank you. The man is a legend. And but he's just very kind and nice. There's buttons. Yes, that'll work. So yeah, we're trying to chase down this new, what's it called? It's like a tier 2 thingy with Twitch. I don't know. But there's points that we get to, and then they give you a better, well, they give me a better deal. It goes from like 60 to 70%. That's what I'll be doing. If you wonder what this is duck feed. Yeah, right, I can afford to buy a pack of duck feed. But anyway, no pressure now. If you get 3 of them in a row, they unlock it. We're on our 3rd one. That's why there's a mad number beside it. But don't feel compelled. I'll try and twist your arm the conventional way. You know. I couldn't afford the lighting this month, lads. Jesus, then, you know. We should do that scene from Oliver Twist. But that's what that is, right? Now my head is roasting after wearing the bloody thing. But anyway, we'll move on. We're over here, look. Gar Gaming, welcome in. Billy is here. Welcome aboard. Idle Cutoff checking in from Kujama in Nigeria. Jesus, that... Idle Cutoff, what's the weather like out in Nigeria? Bloody hell. Blowy Wheel is here for 7 months. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome in. Shunty McShunface, welcome. Mrs. GPHI. Mrs. Inappropriate with that... Inappropriate. Jesus. 17 months for Mrs. GPHI. Ups and down for the entirety. Thank you very, very much indeed, Mrs. Hope you're well. You have warped my fragile, innocent little mind. Jesus. Right, straight to confession. Right. Now, let me see. JP Gaming, good to see you, buddy. Nutty Slack is here. Jesus. There's buttons everywhere. What's going on? I can't fix that button. It gives it 2 alerts and it scares the shite out of me. Who pressed that? There's buttons. It broke everything. There's no sounds at all. Who did he, and why did he? Their sounds back. I need to fix that. My fragile little mind. Cartman, brilliant. There's double alerts coming in, and I don't know how I affect it, but it is fact. Who was that now? Black Sheep Jean, thank you very much indeed. Jesus, Jean. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. And then Johnny Mon pressed a button. Johnny Mon is here. Good to see you, buddy. Hope all is well. Then Dazza Arab. Jesus, look. Dazza Arab jumped in with 5 gifted tier 1 subs to the community here on Twitch. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Dazza, do be sure to say thank you. Dazza, you're very kind. Same with Muse Fan, same with Black Sheep Jean. And then Just Looking rambles in with 5 gifted tier 1 subs to the community. Thank you very, very much indeed. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Just Looking, do be sure to say a thank you. That's incredible. Just Looking, 55. What's going on tonight? Now, my head is very hot now because I put something very cold in it. Hang on, I need to lie down. No, I'll be grand. Right, let's keep it together, Murph. Keep it together. Yes, Mrs. TPHI, welcome in. DeRooter, you're very welcome aboard. Thank you, Homewrecker. You're very kind. Visualize, welcome in. You can't get away with migraines. I'm telling you, D-White, it's shocking, isn't it? We're getting on better than you were yesterday. Thank you, Michaela. Good to hear. Someone kicked the subtitles. Wait, the subtitles. Danger. Real danger. Jesus. There's more of it. They're pressing buttons. Who was that? Homewrecker, you mad ticket. Jesus, Homewrecker. 5 gifted tier 1 subs coming in from the man from County Cork. Thank you very, very much indeed. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Homewrecker, do be sure to say thank you. And it has to be, thank you. That's how it's pronounced. You're very kind, sir. Thank you very, very much indeed. Lads, these are absolutely sound. I'll be lurking and listening for keywords, says Mrs. TPHI. You see, you could literally say any word and her ears will perk up, right? For example, hammer, tool shed. Yeah, I'm just using random ones, but she'd be like, I know what I can do with those. Metaphorically, figuratively. Jesus, move on, will you? Mugan, not tonight, darling. I've got a headache. Right, I'm about to bite me tongue. Getting pale, how could you tell? It's a slightly pinkish side of red. It was pure, pale, pasty, shocking Scott. But also, good to see you, Scott. Welcome in, buddy. Check your blood pressure too. Yeah, so no, all that was grand. I was down with the vet this morning, and Yeah, no, it's like I you know, medical professionals are bamboozled when they see me. They're like, what, really? How? Right. So we're okay in that department. But yes, Assidious, welcome in. Who else come in now? That looks better. Wait, what? Better for us. Yeah. The cure is... Jesus. How do we... There's two buttons at play here, and honestly, I don't know how to fix them. We're going to leave them there for the moment, but I need to... Will someone remind me later on? We need to fix the alert. Murph, fix your alerts. Right. Kieran Niall, thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Cheers, buddy. Insane support coming in from the tube. Lads, you're very good. Very, very good indeed. Brilliant. Thanks a million. I need to fix it. Someone tell me later on. Remind me, Murph, fix the shagging things. And off I shall fix. Right. Now, let me see. We're over here, look. Proby Pete says the cure is a shortened intro. Well, Cracker, welcome aboard. Hope you're well. Piku is here. Now, let me see. Black Eyes Gabe, Tier 3, be Janie, for 59 months. Happy hump day. Jesus. What in the name of... I should really change that music to something like Christmassy where they do the first... they do the first verse, then they go on to the second verse, but then the other fella starts the first verse. Do you know them? And they... Right. Look! Dazza pressed a button. Dazza, something for buying something that might be useful. Thank you very much indeed. Earmuffs, probably. Or a mask. A mask for Murphy. Unbelievable. Dazza, thank you very, very much indeed. Guten Abend, mein friend. Herr Gibbo is over in Munich, where it's... hot as balls. Good man, Gibbo. Gibbo's the United Nations now for this week. He's over shaking hands in Germany. Good to see you, Gibbo. Hope you're... How's the food? Ask them for Brathurst. Isn't it? And the beer. And the beer. Absolutely crazy stuff. Yeah, the support is amazing, isn't it? But Gibbo, you're very welcome in. And Dazza, thank you very, very much indeed. What a mad lad. Black Eyes Gabe, thank you very much. He says, happy hump day to all who remember me and to all the newcomers too. Gabe, thank you very, very much. Hope you're well, buddy. And, Chase, we need to catch up soon. Now, let me see. UTB is here. Prime subscription for 8 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, UTB. You're very kind. Rob MCR, tier 1 for 66 months. Jay, it's like bingo. Rob, thank you very, very much indeed. Insane support, lads. Thank you very, very much. These are legends. Just Roy is here. Good evening, Mr. Barfin Chat. That was a serious Murph. Today was my turn. No black dots, but nice crystals. Exerdrin did the trick. Exerdrin, you say. Interesting. We'll have to have a look. Maverick Mike, 12 months, man. Jesus. Thank you very, very much, buddy. Hope you're well. Lads, these are nuts. These are nuts. On a clinical level, the doctor's report, nuts. Right. But thank you very, very much indeed. These are savage. Savage. Now, where's this? Heisenberg is here. Good to see you, buddy. Massive noggin, massive headache. Yeah, well, it kind of adds up, doesn't it? Right. Not Crocodile Dundee. Crocodile Dundee. Do you remember Crocodile Dundee? Oh, jeez, that was brilliant, wasn't it? Now let me see. Muse fan bursts in the door. He says, how he is, his mad jokes, his happy hump day. It's good to see you, Muse. Happy Wednesday. The Raphael is the Mutz, Murph. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Azure Poly make absolutely savage aircraft. We saw it with the Fuga. We saw it with the Epsilon. Then we had the Bronco. Then the Jag. Then the C-160, like they just make quality aircraft. So I can't wait to go flying with that. You work by yourself. Who were you talking to lose the voice? I was practicing singing, Scott. Flipper Alloy is here. Good to see you. I wasn't. No, I was. I'd be talking most of the day. I talk some large quantities of stuff. Right, large quantities, and that's what I was doing. Murph, the voice reminds me of Elmer Fudd. Be very, very quiet. Oh, it does! Jesus, it does. I should immediately go working to do, like, voiceover sound thing, fellas. You know them ones, right? Yeah. Oh. Now, where's this? We're over here, look. MechMancer, the Phenom 300 is mad looking. Oh, the Phenom 3500. I haven't seen it. We'll have to look at it. Where's this now? I can see how folks in the village hate him. Wait, me? What? What did I do now? Jesus. Mountain Man, good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Having a ball, should have retired years ago, says Bald Eagle. Excellent, excellent. Energizers here. There is definitely not a win-win package arriving tomorrow that definitely does not include flight sim related stuff. Oh, sorry, meant to send that to the missus. Brilliant. Energizer, enjoy it, buddy. You'll have loads of fun. Now let me see. Goblin Zeus, good evening. Quite hot today, 38 degrees. Lads, there's buttons all over the shop tonight. What are you at? It's unbelievable. Angry Yay is here. No, Angry Jay is here. The cousin of Angry Yay. Welcome in. Vasco's there as well. Then we had the all the gifted subs from Muse Fan because he's a legend. Legend. Where's this now? It worked yesterday. I'm genuinely first on what happened. Oh wait, you're lost on how it happened, but it worked. Brilliant. Adam Controls is here. Migraine me holy says, listen. If that is something you could package, post and share, you'd be first on my list. I'm only joking. No, I would. They're disaster. Bloody hell. You know, but sure, listen, we'll get over it. She'll be all right. It's good to see you, Adam. Welcome in, buddy. Who else here now, lads? It's very busy, isn't it? Toto95. I forgot the middle part. Toto2495. Good evening, Toto. And hello to Mrs. Toto. Hope all is well. Mac Vision, good to see you. The Ripper is here for 27 months. Greetings from Bavaria. Greetings from Tipperary. Good to see you, bud. And thank you very, very much indeed. Billy, what do you mean, what hair?
Oh, behave.
What do you mean, bit of a tight squeeze? I am Bat Murphy. I'm Batman. It looks like a damn good... Wait, it looks pretty damn good. Thanks, Mr. Dan. Right. Where is this now? Necessity creates invention. T-Sac, I agree. Yes. I think it's made for a normal-sized head, to be fair. So that doesn't give your brain freeze like ice cream. No, it does. It gives you absolute brain freeze. The missus threw it on my head. Yes, was like, the pain. She's like, sit through it. You'll be all right. And it was just brain freeze. Whatever was left, it was just like, yeah, we're out of here. Off it went. I went into cloud cuckoo land whilst it thawed out. Right. Best cure for a migraine. Stop ingesting sugar. Stay away from the chocolate and ice creams. Well, I haven't gone near them. I've been very good and well behaved. Do you know? Airlock says, I suffer from migraines often. I have one of those masks and it does nothing for me.
Swing it, baby.
Jesus, there's Lance, will you calm it down. Jesus. JC2012 has subscribed to the channel for 4 months. Thank you very much indeed. And Idle Cutoff, 5 gifted tier 1 subs. What an absolute ledge. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub with thanks to Idle Cutoff, he's in Nigeria, you know. Do be sure to say thank you. What a legend. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Your cold McMask also hides the back of your head. Oh, Jesus, it does. Mrs. Two-Tone wears one every day to put up with. Never mind. Yeah, right. It'll give you a brain freeze. That's what it was doing. My head is still cold, but it's hot. Have you ever tried putting your feet in a bath of hot water as hot as you can bear? Could be an old wives' tale. No, I think that'll burn your feet and then the pain goes from your head to your feet. I don't think that'll work. I don't want to try it. I'm scared. Mooseburger, good to see you. Just picked up the TFDI MD11. Ooh, that is a nice machine. Heisenberg, yeah, CryoMurph, right? Brilliant. Now the DuckTales song is going through me high. I remember that, DuckTales. Life is like a hurricane here in Duck something. Race cars. Something aeroplanes. Do you remember that? DuckTales was brilliant. Bring it back, I say. They should do what all the modern fellas are doing. A live action, real, use real ducks. Oh, give us a break. But anyway, Kanzui's here. Why are you sat in the dark? Was it part of the creative space? Yes, all part of the creative space. Kanzui, it's good to see you. Welcome in, buddy. Then we had Dazza with his gifted 5 tier 1 subs because he's a legend. Where is this now? Wrong button. Damn it, Jim, he says. You need to say fragile little mind in Cartman's voice. Yeah, I know, we got there. See, I'm catching up, lads. This is brilliant. Just looking, thank you very much again for the 5 gifted. Let me see. Peter's here. Yeah, Peter. Now, let me see. SayIntentions Optimizer. Yeah, it worked yesterday. Brilliant. Hayden UK. Jesus. There's 2 of them and they're very loud. Hayden UK. Good to see you, man. Did you notice the delay in those are getting late, aren't they? they're getting longer and more, you know. Jean, thank you very much indeed for another super chat. Murph is thinking it's about to overload and burn out. Right. Home record then with the 5 gifted subs. You're very kind. It's not just her ears that perk up. Jesus, filth. What happens if you say frying pan? Oh, don't say that out loud. Gerard is here. Good evening. A Crotty, welcome aboard. Right, lads. Zith is here. Just changed my booking at the Village Bristol Hotel to 2 nights as it's fairly long drive Sunderland to Bristol. Now staying Friday and Saturday night. We'll be around on the Friday night, Eamon. You know, so just tell us where you'll be and we'll go next door. Ha! Could you imagine? No, but tell us where you'll be, right? Strap21, hola. Good to see you, buddy. Now, let me see. It's very busy, lads, isn't it? Flying Tritz is here. Good evening. Bockwurst. Wait, what's that now? One alert is the currency sign, while the other alert is without the currency sign. Could be, Roy, I couldn't tell you, but we'll have to figure it out. We'll have to use science, you know. The Maverick Mike, 12 months with Prime. Thank you very, very much indeed, buddy. Gremlins being right currencies. Yes, yes. That is not how you say I can't pronounce it. But anyway, the jet is insane. It sets the standard. It really does. The FSReborn, the Phenom is awesome. One Fly Air is here. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Would love to see a Falcon 7X. Yes. Isn't that what the Air Corps fly? I think it is. SoCal Jerry is here. Tier 2 Jerry. 15 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. Hope all is well, buddy. Check your mobile communication device, says Black Ice Gabe. One moment, please. Oh, look, I have a notification. Murph, you need this. What's this? Is that a man cave sign? That is a man cave sign. Gabe, there's nothing now. What's that thing reflecting in it? Put your shirt on. Right. Brilliant. That's hilarious. It's a sign. It's a sign. Now, let me see. Cy120, good to see you. Zybok Doc is here. Good to see you. G Slayer subscribing tier 3 for 6 months in advance for 22 months. Jeez. G Slayer, thank you very, very much indeed. That's insane support. The man is crazy in a good way. Thank you very, very much indeed for your support, buddy. Where's this now? Is there an Ivana in the chat? Ivana, listen, right. Did anyone get IL-2 Korea? I'm not quite sure. How many pints before the migraine started? I was on bottles. I was drinking bottles of Sol with a lime. Oh, Jez, it was lovely. Idle Cutoff, thank you for your gifted subs. Photos by Kev is here. Migraine cure is very cold ice water. I tried it, Kev, didn't work. But maybe it did work. It was a combination of many things. Cold water, Disprin, lie down in a dark room and don't move. But it took the bones of 12 hours. 12 hours, man. They're horrible. But anyway, Rob Dad, good to see you. Jepison 2001, the man, myth and legend himself, has rambled in. What news of the realm? He says, good evening, Murph and Fireflies. Good to see you back after your migraine. They're awful. Fun fact of the day, a major perk of total hair loss is that you never have to worry about your hair turning grey. Thanks, Jepison. You know, the salmon of knowledge. Yeah, right. Jesus. Where's this now? Meeting up with that prince. Wait, who? Angry Bee is here. Good evening. Flat 7 up. Yes, that's the one. Hermit something. Very good afternoon to Boston. Hope you're well, buddy. Welcome in. 98 Vulcan is here. Welcome aboard. Cold in Minnesota. You're very welcome. Restoring. Oh, it's a 6X the Air Corps have. Yes. The hot water opens the blood vessels in your feet, which draws the blood from your head, which allegedly makes you feel better. Also, Murph, reminder to fix your alerts. I need to do that, yes. Harriet Official, good to see you, bud. Try it again. It drops the core blood pressure. Okay. Well, we need to look into it's science. It's science. We need to look into them. Right, quick hello to the tube. Jesus, it's flat out busy tonight. Now, Radley Singer, welcome aboard. Angels15 is here. Northland Air, very good evening. Dave Cleary, legend Dave. Welcome in, Dave. Kubi Montana, good to see you. Ray Perez, welcome aboard. Thank you very much indeed. Black Sheep Gene is a pure mad fella. Huey says you need a new drug. Oh, do you remember that one? Huey Lewis in the news. I want a new drug. Right, and they tried to sue Ray Parker Jr. because the backing track of I Want a New Drug by Huey Lewis in the news is exactly like the Ghostbusters theme. Now, there's information for you may not want, but you got. Yeah, right. Brilliant. Now, Kieran Niall, good to see you. Johnny Mon, welcome in. Roll Tide is here. Dave JSB. Good to see you, Dave. Welcome in, buddy. Rob Dag is here. Gaston, good evening. Ace is in the house. Flyboy Dyer, welcome in. The Mad Dabbler, good evening. Tension headaches. Aha, okay. Now, let me see. Das Gribet, good to see you. Hope you're well. The RC Flying Heli, nice. Legion Johnny is here, good evening. Now, let me see. The Sound Guy, greetings from Ontario. Welcome in, buddy. Now, let me see. Mr. TPHI is over that part of the fence as well. Thank you very much. And yes, Johnny Mon is hanging out over on the tube. We also have Shill 360. Welcome in. Johnny Mon, you should be getting your brand new e-scooter today. Ooh. Yeah, Ducktail's brilliant. An e-scooter. Yeah, we have one here. I don't go on it though. I could be in trouble if I fell off it. Right. Anyway.
Can I get a refund?
No, there's no reef. Take off. Will we get into it? You lot, you crazy bunch of peoples. Let's go in and press some buttons and figure out where we are, what we're doing. And that's if we're doing anything at all. Wait, I have to fix something. I'm after breaking something. Don't panic now, lads. Yes. And, why are they gone backwards? Nobody knows. That one goes there. Yes. And that one goes there. Wait, hang on. Right, I think I fixed it. I think all is well now. I fixed it. Where is this now? You can get up to 39 miles an hour. Jesus. Double sound alerts, it's all happening. Kieran Niall, thank you very much indeed, you legend. There's buttons here. Look, that only worked once. I think we fixed it. I don't know what it did. It's fixed now. Maybe. Right, now, look, we'll do one of these. And we appear over here with some buttons. Ooh. There we are. All seems terribly well in the realm, and we're about to start the news. This is terrible. Terribly exciting. Right. Now here's the gas thing, right? There's a bit of news, right? There's a good chunk of news now, lads. Yeah, right. And well, sure, listen, we'll take our time. Right? See what happens. Midori, good to see you. Welcome in. All sorts of buttons, and I agree. We chat today, Daz. We chat today. We'll be looking at add-ons, but today is all about chat, right? Anyway, let's go in and press some buttons and look at the news. Are we ready? Whoosh. Mother tabs on a screen, and we shall start off at the beginning. So, first off, lads, the MSFS addons.com website has gotten a massive overhaul. Vasco has released version 2.0, right? And basically what this is, he's rebuilt the entire website. It's now way faster, text is bigger, pictures are bigger, and general navigation is actually easier to move around. And this is available to everyone. This is available now to everyone over on msfsaddons.com. The website has become faster because of this as well. And as I said, you can kind of just see where the layout is now. Far more room when it comes to text. SoCal mightn't be given out to me as much. Isn't that right, Jerry? Move your head, Murph. Right, so we've all of this stuff to do. So well done to Vasco. It's never easy releasing like a version 2 of anything, right? Because you'd be thinking, what if they don't like it? And your head is still blocking. Listen, right? I know exactly what to do. Actually, I'm not going to do it, Jerry. No, I'm not doing it tonight. I'm going to get a button for Jerry soon, and I'll figure it out. But anyway, it's great to see. It was long overdue, but it's working out great. Vasco, it's great to see it, mate, and it does make a huge difference. Again, with msfsaddons.com, there is an option if you'd like to support Vasco directly. You can join the membership program, right? The captain's club, as it were, and you can get access to a lot of discounts from a lot of flight sim developers. Some pretty cool stuff there. So it's awesome. Yeah, Holy Tabs is right. The Boise, welcome in. But yeah, this is really, really cool. And as Vasco says, massive thanks to the community who's helped with their feedback and just for looking at the site. So massive well done there. So our news tonight starts off with the Synaptech A220. Yes, it has a performance issue, and version 1.03 is the first serious attempt at fixing it. Now, we flew this aircraft on Sunday. I was supposed to fly it last night, and I've been running version 1.03. It is heavy. Even now, it's heavy on performance. I didn't try the aircraft on a previous version, so I don't know. But on my system, it runs quite heavy. Not to the stage that it's a game breaker, but it's noticeably heavier than any other add-on, right? And also then we had this weird bug with the landing gear compression. On one landing, it shot us into the friggin' atmosphere, right? There's no sign of anyone else having the bug on 1.03. So maybe it's solved for everyone, but I do think there's something lurking. I did report back to AnyBills. Hopefully they'll pass it on then to Synaptech just to see what the crack is. But the A220, there's no question this has been a massive release for Synaptech and AnyBills, and AnyBills are working with them, right? This project started years ago, I think 5 years ago, and it was supposed to be freeware. And then they said, no, hang on, we're going to really dial this one up and apply tons of features to it, which they have. And I like the aircraft. I think, it's the type of operation the A220 does suits me. It's kind of like the short, medium haul. And the logic behind the aircraft, albeit an Airbus branded aircraft, there's a little bit of everything in there. Bombardier started with this contract and then eventually Airbus took it over. And there's kind of, smithereens of Boeing and Airbus all thrown in, and a CRJ thrown in for good measure. It is a really nice airplane. The system's depth is deep, very deep. It does have this custom terrain map, which runs outside your sim, and that's for PC users. It's very good. It's pretty cool to see it available in an aircraft. I don't think it's a necessity, but I think it's pretty cool. The weather radar is on the way, and the next performance patch is scheduled, I think, next week. So they know where the performance issues are. They're trying to iron them out. And again, it probably comes down to a lot of people were saying, hey, would the beta testers not have seen this? Some of them did, of course, but not everyone. And, when you're testing it on systems perhaps that don't have the add-ons we have, or they're not flying it like we fly it online or in multiplayer, it might be, do you know what I mean? Like, how do you find out all the limitations? I will say this. It's an awesome airplane, and I think anyone who's thinking about getting it, if you've been holding off, wondering, will they fix it, won't they fix it, they will fix this. It's too big a release to kind of just say, yeah, it was never ever that good. They kind of released and they left it to one side. That's not going to happen here. Considering the aircraft is only out, a week and a bit, we're on 1.03, 1.04 already close to being deployed, and then there's another one after that. That's where you get the strength of AnyBills behind the product, saying, look, we need to sort this, we need to make it optimized, we need this to run that little bit smoother, and iron out any bugs that might be there afterwards. So I think I would still recommend, if you're thinking about this aircraft, I'd grab it, because it's only going to get better. I've done 2 flights in it so far. The first one, that was a bit of a bogey. The second one was very, very good. One issue, and I'm reading up on it, the aircraft auto pitches up. It's actually a setting in the aircraft. I need to look into it further, because I was asking the question. Yeah, that happens. There's like this, it's to do with the GPWS as well, where the nose will, it'll try and horse itself up. I don't particularly like that feature, so I need to figure out, can we disable it? But I still think there's enough kind of. The sounds are incredible. The systems are deep. It looks insane. The looks of this aircraft are absolutely gorgeous. So it ticks all those boxes. There are a few bugs hanging around, right? One of them is a major one, in my opinion, which is the landing. And of course, performance needs to really, they reckon this is like a 30% improvement of performance. It needs to be more, right? Because as I say, it just runs a bit heavy. Now, I think a lot of that is down to the systems, in particular when it comes to its map, the INS and all this. So it'll be interesting. Energizer says, for being the first release, it's still very good. Patrick Doyle is here. Good to see you. Dan bought it today. Rob Dog says, the wings are made in Belfast. In a Boxman is here. Good to see you, bud. Gibbo says, I still question how these got past testing. Yeah, fair question. Yeah, fair question. I mean, you gotta wonder what the testing environments are, right? And I'm sure there's deadlines and all this they probably have to adhere to, but like, you gotta wonder what the testing requirements are. what's actually required. What are they doing? Where are they flying? What weather? What network? What's the settings? Right? Are they running the sim in 4K? Are they using the sliders high up? Is it the case that the aircraft behaves perfectly normal on a reduced system load? Maybe. Couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, fair question. But yeah, if you're on the fence about it, my advice, by all means, hold off. But it will get there. And it is a pretty cool aircraft. If it was absolutely catastrophically brutal, I'd say no, it's brutal. It has some bugs, but I'm confident they're going to iron them out. Because you can see where you can really see where the polish is. Do you know what I mean? Like when it comes to the systems and the sounds and how it looks. So, you know, it's too good in one department, and then the performance, if you like, is a little bit kind of, do you know. Photos by Kev says, release date and getting money back from the product overrides any quality testing. Maybe. Also, if the testers are actually testing or just after the kudos of testing, says Malky. Yeah, that's a huge issue as well. A lot of developers, when they open out kind of beta testing, you'll have massive beta teams, but you may not have many active users, right? But yeah, it's we'll see how it goes. We will be we still have to do our flight Larnaca in this, and I'll be flying it more, and we'll see how the rest of the release goes. But it's good to see that 1.3 is already out. They got released today. Let's see what happens over the next week or two. A third update is dated for the 11th. So that's, you know, keep it moving, you know. So we'll see what happens. Now, this just got released. The Rafale has landed. Azure Poly's Dassault fighter. It's now available to Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. It's an officially licensed aircraft from Dassault. It covers the Rafale C variant, and it arrived on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation all at once, which is great news from Azure Poly. They just one aircraft, horsed it all out, which is absolutely brilliant. And the aircraft, we have been covering this, about 2 years of development and a summer release window that kept its promise within a few weeks to spare. Azure Poly have released the aircraft on the Microsoft Marketplace. Version 1.0, the weapons patch available, manual published, the whole shebang. And it's been one of the most closely watched aircraft projects for Microsoft Flight Sim, and for good reason. The first officially licensed Dassault Aviation Rafale in the sim, built natively for 2024, and the feature list has been building towards a study-level military sim rather than just an add-on fighter, right? So, PlayStation made the cut, which is very interesting to see as well. This is the first time we've seen a brand new aircraft release universally across all platforms. This is amazing. This means PlayStation pilots for the first time are not waiting. Who knows if there's going to be bugs or issues? Couldn't tell you, but it's good to see it being released, I think. Now, the aircraft itself, you can pick it up through the store. It's priced at $44.99. There's 3 optional livery packs for $5.59 each, covering special schemes, the Rafale Solo display, Tiger Meat, and so on. That places the Rafale near the top of the price range for military aircraft, but the feature list on this is massive. It's massive, right? There are weapons modeled in this aircraft, and I don't mean just for show. There's weapon systems in this aircraft, which is pretty mad. Tactical systems, weapon systems as well. You can fire your ordnance. You can track aircraft. You can do a lot of cool stuff with this airplane. I haven't spent near enough time trying to learn it, but I will over the coming days, and we'll be checking it out next week. But it's huge, lads. This is a huge release from Azure Poly. I think it's brilliant. Skyway, is good to see you, bud. Welcome in. So the initial release is exclusive to the marketplace. Azure Poly has said third-party stores will follow within the next few weeks, with dates announced separately. So anyone who wants it now, you can grab it through the marketplace. There is already a weapons patch for it. Or if you want to buy it elsewhere, you'll have to wait a few weeks. All right. But we'll be checking this aircraft out next week. It looks, sounds, and from what I've done so far, thrown it around the sky, it flies incredibly well. This thing is a beaut, an absolute beaut. So we'll spend a little bit more time next week. But great to see this finally released. And an officially licensed product from Dassault Aviation, which is great news to see as well. So awesome stuff from Azure Poly. Now, Aerosoft, they've been busy working on their A340-600 as it's getting some new 3D objects, mainly with the wings. So, the Aerosoft and Tolis A340-600 Pro released back in March. The systems drew most of the praise, but everything else landed, well, it was okay. The wing drew scrutiny from the community, and a week after release, the team addressed it directly, confirming that a full wing rebuild and minor fuselage refinements were planned. That was almost 5 months ago, and today we finally get to see what they're working on. Now, Aerosoft and Tolis have published a set of before and after comparison renders using a 3D model update banner, confirming that the reworked model will arrive as a free update for existing owners. The images are labelled as work in progress, so nothing is final. Now, the comparison shots, well, this is the current model looking at what it's either the brakes, I think it's the brakes, and then you look at the difference. So you might be saying, well, what's actually going on here? Here's the before, here's the after. You can see there is tons of more detail going on. A comparison between 1 and 2. For example, on the before, we don't see any kind of rivets up here bolted on. There's a sincere lack of little objects in here. And if you look at the new version, they've doubled up in it. We got pipes going on, we got all our nuts, bolts, rivets, highly detailed and better shaping. I mean, even the hydraulic arms, or the pistons coming in here, or the actuators, it looks way more advanced. Same with the leading edge of the wing, looking where the engine is. Here's your before, and here's your after. Again, more, well, apart from the ram hanging out. Was there even a ram in the first one? No, so they didn't even have the ram air turbine. So that's now gone in. And we can see more detail on the slats when it comes back up here to our ailerons and with the flaps down as well. There's notable differences, and it's all about the 3D visual work. It's like they pretty much doubled the poly count here, Now you're probably wondering, hey, is all of this going to be a problem when it comes to your performance, because technically it's loading in more objects, right? And that's going to be a fair question. It all depends on how well this is rendered through the LOD. I suspect it should be fine if it's done right, because these all appear to be only when you're very up close to the aircraft you're going to see these things. As you move back further and further away, I imagine they could revert to this kind of crack. So there shouldn't be a huge impact. There shouldn't be. Moving on from the A340, the A330, an aircraft that's been in the pipeline for a while, revealed at Expo 2025, then targeted a fall 25 release, then slipped into 26. In Aerosoft's end-of-year update in December, the company said it was in the final stages of development, mostly bug fixing. Worth remembering, of course, unlike the A340, the A330 is an in-house Aerosoft project. The company confirmed in December that Tolis is not part of it, despite persistent community speculation. It is also positioned as a more approachable of the two aircraft, aimed at simmers who want a modern wide body without the systems. Given how much it rests on it after the reception of the CEO that August, news would be worth watching closely. Just to give you a catch-up, the A330 that Aerosoft released originally, it was crap. There's no other word to put it. It was a disaster. It didn't feature a cabin. Textures were not good enough. It was not a good aircraft, especially from someone like Aerosoft. It was just, this wasn't good. So they're reworking the project onto the CEO. Sorry, onto the NEO, right? Dave says the Aerosoft 340 is super disappointing to me. Much prefer the INI version. So I love the INI version because it has a freighter, right? It's a converted freighter. I have the Aerosoft and Tolis A340. I like some of the systems. I like what Tolis bring to the market. And Aerosoft, with some of the visuals, they were quite good. If I had to choose but one, I'd go with the INI Builds one as well. I just think it's more of a complete aircraft. And because it's all kind of steam gauges, far less can go wrong with it in terms of WASM issues. You know what I mean? But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. We'll keep an eye on it though. Like, I have the A340 from Tolis over on X-Plane, and it's very good. It's excellent on X-Plane. slightly different experience in Microsoft Flight Sim, you know. So moving on, Bluebird posts its deepest 757 breakdown yet, confirming failures arriving post-launch. So the aircraft will release and then we'll get failures added to it later on. Now, this has been, I think, the most hyped add-on ever. Coming, you know, it's going to be the best thing. It's going to be brilliant. It's coming next week. It's coming next year. It's coming before Grand Theft Auto. There's a lot of hype behind this. And, you know, the project has changed. This originally started off as what was to be a fairly light simulation of a 757, because we know Just Flight were helping them out with publishing. And then they said, actually, no, we're gonna really push into the simulation side. We're gonna go into high fidelity. We're gonna go for a full study level. That's what we want to push out. And that pushed what they thought was going to take a couple of months into a couple of years. Here we are now, about to come into Q3 of 2026. We're expecting to see it soon because it has now pushed itself into alpha. Or even beta, right? So, Bluebird have put its ultimate feature breakdown online alongside a brand new website, which sounded somewhat like a closing argument for a project that has been in development since 2022. The developer has now posted a PDF on the Discord server calling it the current 757 feature list. It is the most complete picture of a 7.5 the community has had, but it also comes with one line worth keeping in mind. Note that a comprehensive failure suite will be added after release, but the systems are built with failures in mind, the developer wrote. Don't think that's going to be a huge issue starting off. The ability to have failures is nice. I don't think everyone uses them, right? Especially if you're just doing your flights on VATSIM. So with the failures, it's going to be at the second release of this aircraft. I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. However, the price point of $80, it sits in the same bracket as a PMDG, even more than Phoenix, and failure simulation is part of what buyers at that tier expect on day one. The feature list backs that claim up in places. The fire protection section lists fire and fault injection, both random and user requested, along with detector faults and two-loop voting for fire indications. The oxygen system is also described as having built-in failures, but of course we won't see it. We won't see it. A feature list written like a maintenance manual. The organization of the document is part of the story itself. Rather than a bullet list of selling points, Bluebird have grouped everything by ATA chapter from 21 air conditioning through 70 engine, and the EFB model and flight model sound package have all been documented separately. Some of the headline numbers we already know. There's over 500 circuit breakers that are mapped to the correct electrical bus, with over 200 functional at launch and more being added over time. There's over 300 ECAS messages that are simulated, and the exterior model carries more than 100,000 rivets and screws, and the virtual cockpit has over 1,000 animations. That's kind of friggin' nuts, right? Nuts. What is new is the surrounding detail. The warning electronic unit, described as fully simulated across 2 independent circuits with speakers modelled and all warning and caution inhibit logic in place, plus time delays, each warning set to manufacturer's specification. The CRT screens are coded in C++ for performance reasons, and the electrical section lists hundreds of relays and contactors in their corresponding chapters. Accurate load shedding, dynamic schematic diagram, and so on. Brake temperature is there, cabin interphone system works. There's loads and loads and loads, right? Loads and loads. But I think we're still at the same story. This must be released. They can tell us everything it's going to have. They can tell us all the hard work they've done. We have to try it ourselves. It's at this project, I think, it's at the stage where, right, whisht. Tell us when it's ready, and then we'll go grab it, I think. Because you can't hype up a project any higher, I think, than what Bluebird have done here. I'm very excited for this. I cannot wait to fly it, but it's just, right, shh, just let us know when it's out. You know what I mean? But let's see what happens. FS Syndicate, welcome in. Hope you're well. To be fair, it was the same as Synaptech. Nah, this is far worse. This is far worse, I think. Synaptech was bad, but like, this was like, Jesus, you know? Yeah, SoCal, yeah, pretty much. Like, I hope this is going to be an absolute cracker, and it'll redefine what add-ons are in the sim. That's what I hope for. We plan for the worst and hope for the best. Release date, maybe we're going to see it in the next couple of weeks. Maybe. They did say before Grand Theft Auto, so what have we got? When's that coming out? November? They have a little bit of time. Interesting now, though, when a developer says these are coming in a later version, that means they've now settled on a release candidate. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's 2020 native. Now, they're telling us this is going to work fine in 2024, but it's a 2020 native aircraft. Yes. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. What are your thoughts, lads? I mean, is this something you're going to buy, or is it very much you're going to wait and get as many as reviews as you can before you even think about buying this? Is it a day one purchase, or no, you need to be convinced for reviews? You know what I mean? GTA releases November 19th. Yeah. Maybe the 7.5 will be released before the Embraer. Roy, maybe. Not for me. A 2020 native. If there's an Aer Lingus livery, I'm buying it. There will be. Probably not through them, but someone will make one. I wanted, but might hold off. Digital Mark, good to see you, Mark. Not a fan of purchasing aircraft, to be honest, says Homewrecker. I mean, it depends on what you have, Homewrecker. If you're happy enough with the default fleet that comes with the sim, most people are, right? The advantages of third-party aircraft, especially if they're at that level of high fidelity, you can literally treat them as a simulator. I mean, you're reading books, reading information, and that's where we get our fun in terms of simming it, because we're following the procedures and the aircraft knows what we're doing. There is a fun element to figuring that part out, but it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone, do you know? Hopefully it's better than the quality wings. Do you remember the quality wings one? Jesus. Reviews are always key. Yeah, absolutely not a day one purchase, says Muse. Yeah, I'll wait and watch you crash it first. Thanks, Malky. As soon as this is available, I'll be checking it out. I'm very interested in this airplane. I've flown the 7.5 back in the day from Quality Wings. I've flown the Flight Factor ones on X-Plane. I love the 757. It's a beautiful aircraft. It was the first commercial aircraft I flew on. But yeah, there's a lot of expectation behind this. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens. Iowa Scotsman is here. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome aboard. So moving on, Vector's, the 787-9 has entered alpha and it's now flying full routes. This is the 787. This is going to be a native 787. We've seen this from Vector over the over FS Weekend, and they were there at FS Expo as well. And this is looking really, really impressive, right, for a 787. The detailing we've seen from some of the pictures on this, lads, are absolutely gorgeous, right? And I think it is missing. A decent simulation of a 787 is missing in the sim. Yeah, we have the Asoba one and it's nice and all, but it never really kind of clicked. You know what I mean? There was mods we can get to kind of, was it Horizon or something? There was mods you can kind of do a thing, but you know what I mean? But this is going to be impressive, I think, because reading what they're putting into the project in terms of the systems, in terms of the visuals, this is looking very interesting indeed. Do you know? So many aircraft coming out. Yeah, the Vector 7.8 feels promising. It really does. The engines look really small. 7.8? Nah, man, they're huge. Well, they're huge engines. Speaking of quality wings, yeah, they were doing a 7.8 as well. I don't know, did they disappear? I don't know. I spent a week with Air 2000 jump seating around Europe and the 7.5 up front. No way, Dave. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited about the 787. So yeah, it's in alpha. They're working around. They're doing full flights with it, and they were saying this is a 2026 release. So let's see what happens. Right? I wouldn't say that it's just the Vector 787. They look smaller than in real life. They're the same engines modeled, but it could be just the type of engine. Do you know what I mean? Chris says, yeah, the release of the 757, it is a native 2020, but it will be compatible with 24 with a native 2024 update coming later. Yeah. Vector gives me Phoenix vibes. Kind of does. They're very passionate. The team behind, they're very, very passionate. So I'm looking forward to this. Very much looking forward to this. PMDG have launched their 777 freighter onto PlayStation without Navigraph for now, but PlayStation 5 Marketplace finally getting the freighter from PMDG, the 777, and one functional limitation was Navigraph. According to the developer, Navigraph currently cannot connect directly to PS5. PlayStation pilots are without the chart and nav data integration that us on PC and Xbox have. PMDG understands how central the integration is for many of its customers, and they say they expect the limitation to be resolved as the platform and its supporting services mature. As noted, 2024 launched the PS5 last December. Marketplace have seen already a number of add-ons. Azure Poly have gotten in there, and Caronado have gotten in there, to name but a few. PMDG are there now. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Sim Update 6 fixes things over in the world of the PlayStation. But I think people were saying with the beta, PlayStation seems to be working a little bit better now. Do you know? Quality Wings is gone. Apparently, they didn't renew their trademark a couple of years ago. Yeah, Quality Wings, I think, are finished. Yeah. So, yeah, PlayStation pilots rejoice. The 777 freighter, I really enjoyed this aircraft. You have a couple of options with PMDG when it comes to 777s. You got the 200, the 300, and of course you have the freighter. I have the freighter, and I enjoy flying it. It's a behemoth of a plane. It's really cool. So that's available. The Mad Dog, it's now native. I need to take this out for a spin. The Mad Dog is now native to 2024. This is from Leonardo Software House. This was, without doubt, the most expensive flight sim add-on for Microsoft Flight Sim, and they kind of held that high. They've now changed the pricing model, so you get all variants with the one native purchase. And if you already own this, I think there's an upgrade path. It's not a free update. So if you had it in 2020, there's an upgrade path that you can grab, but it does combine all of them into the one product. The 88, is it the 88, 89, and something else, MDs. This is an awesome airplane. It's probably one of those most underrated aircraft. I think those who have it, if it's not something you always fly, it's possibly something you never fly, and you should. It's an excellent aircraft. Sorry, D White, 80, 82, and 83. Good man. This is an incredible airplane. It's just different. It's a mix between Boeing, Airbus, and, you know, Massey Ferguson. It'll just confuse you, but you kind of figure out the logic. It's a great aircraft to fly, and I need to fly it more myself. It's now native, which is great news, but also the 2020 variant is also getting a couple of updates and fixes as well, which is just great news. The full package covering all three variants is listed for $69.99 plus VAT. Previous owners are entitled to an upgrade price of $24.99. Now, originally this aircraft I think was 90. Wasn't this like 90 quid without VAT? Right? This is expensive. There you go. It was actually €100 plus VAT. So now it's 70. It's a huge reduction, and that's for all three variants. I think they kind of realized people don't want to spend that much money. They would have sold so many more copies of this thing, I think, if the price was a little bit lower. They'd have sold tons of them, do you know? But they didn't, so what can we do? So that's the story there, right? I need to fly this aircraft, though, because it is really good. I enjoy flying the MD. It's great. Microsoft Flight Sim about to get its first bubble canopy Spitfire. Merlin powered Spitfire you currently buy from Microsoft Flight Sim shares the same silhouette. Airplane Heavens Mark 1, Flight Replica Zone Mark 1A and M2, and their Mark 5, and Flying Irons Mark... What was that? What? 1X. 1XC? 19? That's not... 9? 9. Mark 9. Mark 9, Murph. Anyway, this one, the XVI Mark 16, the package, according to the announcement, contains clipped wing and full wing versions, plus high-backed fuselage versions to represent the early aircraft. Right? It's one of the more confusing entries into the Spitfire family. It's just released. Okay, it's just released, I think. It's out. Good man, Angels. Is it any good? It was fitted with a Packard-built or a Packard-built Merlin 266, the American licensed version of the Rolls-Royce Merlin. The engines were near identical, but Packard built to American measurements rather than imperial. This thing makes it look more like a P-51 from the top, right? Murph, that's a bit embarrassing for someone who loves the Romans. What are you talking about? It's grand. Muse taught me Roman numerals when he was in school. Yeah. One thing I'll say about flight replicas, their aircraft tend to be very large size in terms of the space of data. Gigs, right? These are always very heavy aircraft. I haven't grabbed this yet. I will. It's a 2020 aircraft, but I know it works okay in 2024 as well, which is good to hear. And clipped wing Spitfire just shouldn't be allowed. But yeah, it looks very pretty with the with that canopy on it, doesn't it? I mean, a lot of the Spitfires, they're very familiar inside. That there now, that is gorgeous. That's absolutely gorgeous. That's fantastic. So yeah, we'll have to take this one now for an out spin. But doesn't it change the look of it a lot? It's very, like, you'd almost think it was a Mustang if you only saw some of the picture, you know? Brilliant. The tobacco and duty free, forget about it. So it's available now.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's in the marketplace, I would imagine, maybe. I'll have to grab it. But yeah, so just know we've a new Spitfire in town, and yeah, we'll have to take that for a spin for sure. Now, I saw this. Zith put me onto this, and when I saw the name Kaza, I had to sit down. I was like, oh, brilliant. Someone's finally making a Kaza. It's not the Kaza we wanted, but it's the Kaza we got. So this one is the C212. It's the Avio car. Project Max are behind this. They spent 8 years making airports, and this is the first aircraft, which is a switch-level Kaza C212-200, right? More than 500 of these aircraft have been built in Seville over the last 40 years, and until now, none of them property in Microsoft Flight Sim. They were a boxy high-wing fixed gear with a rear cargo ramp and reputation for getting into strips that nothing else can use. It's exactly the kind of machine Microsoft Flight Sim does well, but it never really had a proper native payware version. Now there's one coming, and it's from Project Max, an Indonesian studio that until this year had only ever made airports, right? Homewrecker, yeah. So the Kazas, so they now use the C295s. They're the latest ones. Homewrecker. So the 235 variant, that was 252 and 253, and now we have the 295s. You know what I mean? But yeah, one Foxy Bingo, Gav. Good to see you. The Spanish Triad, a Sherpa. Very much so, Scott. The line is the Avio car will arrive in your sim shortly, according to the developer. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. In terms of the features of the aircraft, they're not aiming low. It's going to target both 2020 and 2024, right? And they have the Garrett Allied Signal TPE31-10R modelled around its fixed shaft architecture, direct beta operation, and constant speed propeller behaviour. And the studio say engine response, propeller control, start sequences, feathering, and power management follow the real aircraft's operating logic, which is nice. The analog cockpit looks quite detailed with torque, RPM, EGT, oil and hydraulic gauges for both engines, and it includes an overhead systems panel. Full electrical and fuel controls. Avionics are configurable to reflect different real-world fits. They're built around the HZ444, which include then your EFD, ADI, HSI, and a choice of your GTN, GNS, or even KLN 90B navigators. Plus to have a working Bendix King weather radar. Cockpit mounted EFB covers checklist, flight planning, weight and balance, fuel, and preset panel states, the latest start, taxi, takeoff, or cruise, or cold and dark. Yeah, gauges for both engines, right? This will be interesting. It's fitting. It's somewhere between the Sherpa and probably the Dornier, somewhere in between. It's a Spanish-built Kaza, very similar on the inside to the 235s. We'll have to grab this to see where it lies. The sceneries are quite good, but as you can see from the screenshots here, I mean, it looks very basic, but then again, the older Kazas were very basic. They were bought out by Airbus, of course. Airbus own the brand now, right? Moving on, Top Max Studios. Keep your eye on your time there, Murphy. Top Mac Studios rebuilds the F-22 Raptor for a native version for 2024. We have a trailer here. The studio now describes the finished package as covering new systems, features, sounds, effects, flight model improvements, and capabilities. Right? Hey, Fornax is here. Good to see you. The most visible change for returning pilots is how the aircraft is configured. Stores management now runs through a native EFB application. You open the Microsoft Flight Sim EFB, go to Applications, select the Top Mac F-22, pick a configuration and load it. Top Mac say it intends to expand on that with simulation, configuration menus, and checklists. Right? Cockpit interaction has been rebuilt. Weapons bays open through the OTHR, then BIT, then weapon doors, or via a toggle spray off keyboard command for anyone who prefers the binding. Thrust vectoring is toggled from a DVR button with a warning displayed whenever it's off. Air-to-air and air-to-ground modes are selectable, and targets can be picked up on the tactical situation display with a double click to select another to lock, at which point a shoot cue appears on the HUD once the master arm is enabled. What it can't do, well, it can't fire the weapons. It's prohibited under the marketplace rules. Is it though? I need to double check that. Didn't Jorg turn around and actually say, we didn't mind that? Drop tanks can sometimes be released through master arm and jettison buttons on the auxiliary panel, but the studio describes the behavior as inconsistent. Okay. The fly-by-wire system also cannot be switched off. The switch has been deliberately disabled on the basis that the real aircraft isn't meant to be flown without its flight control limiter. That makes sense. Existing owners should also note the G1000, G3000 planning widget is gone. Top Mac removed it to stay compatible with the native 2024 flight planning system with future simulator updates. Planning now goes through the EFB, sent to avionics and ATC with an IF4 flight filed or VF4 in there as well. You know, York said they didn't mind visible weapons. Yeah. So it's not a limitation of the sim. They do allow it. Sure, look at Azure Poly. They just did it, you know. But anyway, the most contentious aspect, the new F-22 costs $35.99 USD with a $17.99 upgrade for owners of the 2020 version. However, anyone who bought the original 2022 release through Just Flight don't get the upgrade price. Top Mac explains that it moved away from third-party resellers because what it calls ineffective anti-piracy protections has only sold on the marketplace since, and they chose not to make an exception. The studio admits some customers will be unhappy. But they say tough, right? P.S. Miranda, good to see you. The upgrade itself, the upgrade fee itself, Top Mac say the discount is courtesy rather than entitlement, and that at one point the team considered shipping this as an entirely new product with no upgrade path. Existing owners have pushed back on the number, pointing out $17.99 sits above the $5 to $10 range they say has become normal for 2020 to 2024 upgrades, and that the 2020 version still works in the new sim. Ouch. What are your thoughts on that one? That's a bit now be-Janey then. So you get 50% off, yeah, if I do me maths, roughly 50% off upgrade. I suppose if you say it like that, it doesn't sound too bad. But I don't know. If you bought it on Just Flight, then you're somewhat shagged. They're not going to look after your upgrade price. So does that mean you have to buy it full whack? Too steep. Didn't fly the 2020 version enough to justify paying again. Yeah. It is too steep. I agree with you, Muse. That's too dear. That's my 2 cents. It's a great aircraft. Incredible aerodynamics. Incredible. But, it's a hard one, isn't it? The issue with Just Flight to Marketplace is no discount code path exists, and no integration exists for them to honour the discount cross-platform, as far as I'm aware, says Chunky. Yeah, but like if they send Top Mac their purchase code, could you not? You know what I mean? Wouldn't that work? If you bought the aircraft from Just Flight, could one not say, here's my purchase order number and email that you can verify with Just Flight? Just thinking out loud. But yeah, interesting stuff. It is a cool aircraft, but like that sort of This sort of crap, lads, we don't want to see this kind of stuff. Like, an aircraft getting updated should be a celebration, I think, because work has clearly gone into this. They've added tons of cool stuff, right? They've added in tons of stuff. They've revamped it and they've made it native. So work has gone into this. This sort of stuff shouldn't be taking away from it. You know what I mean? That's kind of my idea, do you know? We looked into it, but no, we can't assign discounts in the marketplace per users. To do giveaways, for example, Top Max Studios would need to submit an individual request to a community manager, but no back-end processes or options exist. Interesting. Okay. If it's a limitation with the marketplace, well then that's a Yorg problem. You know? That's interesting. Like, it's funny, right? On one hand, you want to put everything on the marketplace because that rules out most of the piracy issues from anywhere, right? But then you've less control on the marketplace. Do you know what I mean? I'm okay with paying an upgrade fee, but I bought it off Just Flight, so that's not an option. Yeah. As far as I'm aware. Yeah, we'll chat after on that, Chunky. I think there is a way to do it. Or at least York said there's a way to do it, but whether or not it works, I don't know. Piracy making people suffer as usual. Yeah, that's the issue, lads. Like, I mean, what's made by man is going to be broken by man, I suppose. But like, piracy is an absolute detrimental hassle to this hobby that we have, because it stops people making stuff. That's the damage it does. Studios will say, well, don't do that again. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, the good news is, if you do have the Raptor, you could upgrade it via the marketplace if you bought it in the marketplace. If you've never flown the Raptor, it is an excellent aircraft. As I say, it has some of the sounds are amazing. And the aerodynamics of this aircraft are nuts. The thing can do all sorts of mad stuff. They do things that planes shouldn't be able to do, but this can do it. So you can pick it up through the marketplace as well. And if it's a first time purchase, buy it through the marketplace. You can pick it up there for $35.99. You know, upgrade fee discount is a courtesy, not entitlement. Yeah, I don't like the wording there either. It's just, yeah, it's like, don't tell your customers how to think. You know what I mean? It's like, ooh, but yeah, look, it is what it is. But that's why there's contention. Like, that's why people are saying, hey, what the hell? You know, your face and all this, you know. But anyway, we'll move on. It is a cool aircraft. And as I say, it shouldn't be like, it should be a celebration when it comes to aircraft releases like this, not getting caught out in the drama. I didn't even know they said that. Yeah, it's like, whoever said that, if you get like a 12-pound salmon, you know, whoosh, right. Anyway, moving on. 5 new analog panels complete FlySimware's legacy Lancer legacy, right? So the Lancer legacy, we had a look at this some months back with the glass. Now they've done a huge overhaul because we have the analog panels available with this aircraft as well, and this is pretty cool, right? I was very excited to see this aircraft. It flies beautifully. There's great sounds in this aircraft as well. And now we have the steam gauge panel options, and we can customize them because we've different options. I love the layout here. It has just the right amount of glass to steam to glass. And it's pretty cool to see this from FlySimware. They've been doing tons upon tons of patches and updates to this aircraft. It's now available. And if you prefer flying in the steam gauge in the Lancer Legacy, now you have it with all the bits and bobs they have when it comes to their brand new The Aircraft is Alive system, all controlled in the EFB. This is pretty good. I'm well impressed with what FlySimware have done with this. And it's great now to see that we have steam gauges in there. I'll have to take this for a flight soon, but this is a really, really solid release from FlySimware. You have the best of both worlds. You can either have modern glass cockpit or you can have the steam gauge with multiple variants with different avionics. You can see here they've gone for the older systems, or you can pop in GNS, GTNs, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of cool stuff with this airplane. So it's all now being released, which is great to see. It's available over on the FlySimware web store, $46.99, and you can pick it up from Sim Market and Just Flight and the simulator and along with the Microsoft Flight Sim Marketplace for PC, Xbox, and PS5, which is great to see from Flight Simware. So we checked out the aircraft. We flew it on the stream a couple of months back. We'll have to take it out for a spin again with the analog because it looks class. Now, staying with analog, A2A's Legacy RG55, which again is it's a Lancer Legacy, but this is what A2A are working on, and it has now gone out to beta testing, and it's everything you would expect from an A2A aircraft. I'd even go to say there's a little bit more going on in the background with this. This is literally Scott takes it for a spin, figures out something, goes back to the team. You just need to do this, lads. That's where this aircraft is at. It looks great, it sounds great, it's flying great, and this is now gone into beta. So this, I would think, is going to be released relatively soon. If you've flown A2A aircraft before, you won't be disappointed with this one at all, right? Interesting now that they went for the Legacy. Scott does fly this, and a huge advantage when a developer has access to the aircraft. And A2A, they just manage to do things differently because they have AccuSim. I think it's AccuSim. If you were to pin A2A and Black Square, A2A slightly get it only because of AccuSim. Black Square definitely nailed the systems without a shadow of a doubt. The sounds, the systems, and particularly with the 114, I mean, I think that's really closed the gap, right? But A2A just have the live aircraft data. They've access to the aircraft, which is a huge advantage because they can dial that right into the sim. But this is going to be an interesting release. It's on a short final, as we say. It's in beta testing right now. So yeah, we'll keep an eye when this gets to be showcased. But it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I wasn't mad when I first saw this. I was like, a Lancer, really? And then you kind of go flying it and you're like, yeah, no, it's excellent. Do you know, it's excellent. Now, as we mentioned, Black Square, the Commander 114 is out. And it comes with the first working storm scope in the sim. We have this aircraft. We're going to have a quick look now in a few moments. It's a 1977 aircraft. It contains two of them. The normally aspirated aircraft, and then an aftermarket turbo normalizing package that brings aftermarket air conditioning plus crew and passenger oxygen into the aircraft itself. This is a beautiful airplane, and I think visually this is probably the best visual representation of a Black Square aircraft we've ever gotten. Nick has really pushed the visuals of how he builds aircraft with this. It looks great, it sounds great, and it flies great. This is a solid add-on. And the advantage here, of course, it's the systems. There's so much simulation going on here, which is absolutely class. So there's nice differences between both aircraft. You buy it as a pack. It comes with two aircraft. You have a massive array of different avionics options. So much so you're able to tap the glass, and there's just loads of systems. There's also a lot of new stuff in here, where we have things. Engine simulation covers compression, magneto impulse couplings, the blade angle, oil temperature and pressure, cylinder head temperature and preheating, along with fouling, vapor lock, flooding, and backfires. And the turbocharger simulation is claimed by the developer to be the most advanced simulation of a turboprop inside Microsoft Flight Sim. I would even say flight simulation in general. What Nick has managed to title into this with a turbocharger, like, it's better than anything I've ever seen. Do you know? Failures run to about 75 or so. It also has full state saving with more than 210 parameters selectable. And the sound, it's something kind of cool here because they've added in tons of new recordings for the aircraft, especially at different altitudes. The thing is just class. It's just class. Plus, we know Black Square are bringing out a ton more aircraft. They got the Twin Commander coming out. They got King Airs coming out. There's a lot of good stuff to get excited for with this aircraft. It is a superb general aviation airplane. If general aviation is your thing, this one, the Commander, it's right up there being one of the absolute best. It's excellent. Absolutely excellent. So great stuff from Black Square. Now, more aircraft on the way. Did I tell you it's busy? The Van's RV12IS is coming to Flight Sim 2024, and a real flight school helped to build it. So, reasonable Vans collection at this point. Simwork Studios giving us the RV8, 10 and 14. There's a decent freeware of the RV4, and the one that never really got the same treatment is the RV12. Well, it's available as a factory-built aircraft, and Vans say it's one of the goals in moving from the original RV12 to the IS was strengthening the airframe for commercial use in flight schools. The company runs a flight school page and an IFR training page for the type, and some schools have taken it up. Among them is the Magnolia Aviation Academy at Gwinnett County Airport in Georgia, which operates a standardized fleet of RV12s, alongside a 172. Sim Solutions, they're the ones working on this aircraft, and they're working with said flight school. Now, Sim Solutions have had aircraft before. Okay. The story here is they're making an aircraft with the school. So they're trying to tie in all the bits and bobs what the school have to deal with when it comes to flying this aircraft, which is kind of cool, right? 777, thank you very much indeed. Hi for myself and the kittens who are feeling sorry for themselves after both being spayed. 777, it's good to see you, buddy. Hope all is well. Anyone who has followed Sim Solutions, they came to Microsoft Flight Sim from X-Plane, where it had built a Piper J3 and a Diamond DA40. Microsoft Flight Sim, the debut was the DA20, followed by a CH2000. The one project that stalled the ambition, Sim Solutions announced a Learjet 75, then told the community that the project faced an uncertain future. But they seem to be coming back now with this new aircraft, and it's that of the Vans RV12. We'll wait and see. It's a very basic little training aircraft. Modern avionics with your G1000. They're a kit airplane, right? But it just looks to be a very kind of standard plane, I think. Feature-wise, I mean, look, there's a bit there. But there's nothing jumping out at me to say this is going to be, the Janey then. Maybe the fact that it's going to cover the IS, the engine and all this, maybe, right? We'll have to wait and see. Be interesting to see how this one turns out. No release date yet, but it is in development, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. The feature list is promised soon, which will clarify how deep they're going to go into that Rotax 912. So that's, at the moment, it just looks like a pretty plane. And it is a pretty plane. Vans make gorgeous planes. And the kit-built ones, they, usually they cover experimental when people build them. Pretty cool. Moving on, the Kodiak. 2024 Kodiak, it now starts at $19.99 and it comes with floats. Simwork Studios have split the amphibian into its own package, added a medivac, and pushed maintenance update to everyone already flying the Kodiak. So there was exactly one way into the SWS Kodiak, and it cost $34.99 for a turboprop of that caliber. It was hard to argue with the number, but it did put the aircraft at the upper end of what most simmers spend on a single engine machine. SWS is now changing this entry point with the amphibian, which had been bundled inside the full package since March. It's now available on its own for $19.99, bringing the cost of getting into the particular cockpit down by nearly 50%. The Kodiak amphibian is now a complete aircraft rather than just an add-on module, and the package includes 4 interiors, more than 30 liveries, along with the same system, sound set and visual work found in the wheeled product. This is pretty cool. Now, you can still get both. What you don't get is the wheeled airframe itself, the cargo pod, and the Tundra, which all stay exclusive to the full $34.99. But if you do want to have the smaller one, well, you're laughing. The second release is smaller in scope, arguably more interesting. The Kodiak 100 Medivac expansion, price of $7.99, turns the aircraft into an air ambulance with a fully equipped medical interior and 5 exclusive liveries. It requires the Kodiak 100 base package, so it isn't a standalone purchase. So it looks as if SWS are saying, here's the base aircraft, and then you pay, $7 or $8 for the different variants within that. Interesting. Alongside the 2 releases, Simwork Studios have published version 2.2.2 of the Kodiak 100, which has a small round of fixes, and existing owners have several upgrade routes, all applied automatically. Owners of the 2020 amphibian get 50% off. Owners of the 2024 amphibian can move up to the full Kodiak by paying the price difference. and the same applies to 2020 amphibian owners going straight to the complete. Both products currently available only from Simworks Studios store, with the marketplace release described as coming very, very soon. I will say this, I'm a huge fan of the Kodiak. I love it. It's a great simulation of the Kodiak, which is kind of like, you know, the little brother of a Grand Caravan. Modern avionics in this, so it's always a nice change between if you have the Black Square Caravan and then the Kodiak. Both of them complement each other very, very well. And I think it's a good idea with the pricing, rather than buying all the aircraft for one, they've separated the amphibian now, if you just want the amphibian. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And then, okay, if you want extra versions or variants of the aircraft, there's an upgrade fee there as well. I imagine more developers are going to do that. Here's this type of airplane. Okay, if you want the cargo variant, rather than buying the whole aircraft again, here is the upgrade path. You know what I mean? Or in this case, the Medivac one. But that's a solid airplane. We only flew it not too long ago, doing our New Zealand trips. It's a great airplane. It looks, flies, and sounds great. Really, really great. Now, Flight Sim Studio shares its first development update on the Tupolev Tu-154M. Not sure if we covered this. I can't remember. I think we covered it quickly. Just want to go over a quick rundown. Flight Sim Studio has given the first real answer. The answer is both. It's going to cover both variants. So they wanted to know, the question here is, modernize it and you lose the reason why anyone wanted it in the first place. They're given the first real answer is both. In an ongoing development update, the Tu-154, the studio confirmed the aircraft will ship with the original Doppler navigation system for those who want an authentic workflow, alongside a Bendix King KLN-90 for those who'd rather use more modern avionics, right? The other concession to modern habits is an EFB, which Flight Sim Studio say lists as one of the last major system items still outstanding. So they're working on this. It's going to be interesting to see it, lads. We just don't get enough of Tupolev aircraft in there, and I reckon there's going to be all sorts of cool things to see, right? And this is an interesting project for sure. I'm trying to remember the last time we saw Tupolev aircraft. Didn't what's his name? An X-Plane developer who did the 7.4. I think there was a Tupolev in there. The plane runs on vodka. Yeah. No, it's kind of cool that we're seeing this. When you see the cockpit, when you see the flight deck, what's in the tool bag? A giant hammer. You just bash the dash and it'll work. But it's going to be fun to see this. There was talk of us getting different Tupolev aircraft over the years. So this is very comparable, I think, isn't it, to the likes of our MD-80. Felis, that's the one, lads. Yeah, Felis, that's the one. So I think this is going to be very comparable to an MD-11, but from the Soviet region. So that could be pretty cool. Contrail's FA50 has gotten a new update, version 1.03 to its Falcon, and the update addresses several autopilot-related issues, refines the sound package, and includes a number of additional enhancements designed to further improve the overall flying experience. Number of changes, as you can see from the changelog below, and it's basically just a getting better patch. So if you have the Falcon 50, make sure you get that updated through the Contrail app. Pretty cool. I remember seeing Bulgarian Tu-154s flying into Scotland. Ooh, nice. But yeah, so the Falcon is updated. Make sure you grab it. PacSim have shared new Albuquerque previews. Pacific Island Simulations recently shared some previews of their upcoming Albuquerque International for 2020 and 2024. And we get a couple of more pictures here. Air National Guard are based at the airport as well, which we can see modelled. And of course, we have the Kirtland Air Force Base, which is there as well. And Albuquerque, this is a superb neck of the woods to fly in and out of. I remember the old days in X-Plane. I think Mr. X did an excellent, or maybe it was short final design, but they did an excellent rendition of this airport. It quickly became a fan favourite. And PacSim looks to be doing something similar by adding in these little bit of just a little bit of extra stuff, be it from the military side of the camp or indeed on the commercial side, which is pretty nice to see. Don't have any news yet when it's due to release, but they seem to be working hard on Albuquerque. Sprockets is here. Good to see you. Anybills, they have announced that they're now going to be releasing Malta International Airport. And again, this is on a short final. Malta is the holiday airport, as you might expect. But Anybills are, well, it looks like they're rolling up the sleeves and putting a lot of work into this one. Anybills just make savage airports. I think the detail and the attention to detail and also the performance. I've been shocked at how well they performed. They've mastered that whole LOD thing. Malta, I've never been there in the real life. We did have some options for Malta, but I'm looking forward to an Anybills one for sure. Malta has been badly served, but not been served recently either. But it has not been served. Just Sim has been the payware option for years. That was the one, right? So it means Anybills Malta will be the first payware recreation of the airport built from the ground up for Flight Sim 2024. And it also arrives after the terminal's most recent round of changes. Nice. No release date yet. Anybills tell us it's coming soon. And the feature list, what we can see, handcrafted ground textures, detailed terminal interiors, landside recreation with custom veg, decals, infrastructure, dynamic airport lighting, bespoke airport clutter, an official GSX profile, optimized LOD, and built with the latest 2024 SDK features. Doesn't say anything about multi-jetways, but there's more coming to other airports as we're seeing Anybills update their existing airports. They're actually putting multiple jetways in there, which is great. Kieran, thank you very much indeed for 15 months. Cheers, buddy. The man is a legend. So great news from Anybills. They're flat out. They're just flat out. And we know, of course, that Anybills are working on their A380 as well. So it's great to see there's lots of more projects. We had the chance to speak to Ubaid a couple of weeks back, and he gave us just a good insight into just how busy they are. And Malta looks to be another fine example of how well these guys can make add-ons. It's class looking. 6 days after the A220, Microsoft gets the American factory that built it, Jarizveki Design, have released Mobile for 2020 and 2024. What we have here, a Mobile International Airport, Kilo Bravo Foxtrot Mike, and it's now available. Mobile is where it assembles the A320 family and A220 aircraft on behalf of Airbus on US soil, and it's an unusual airport in almost every way. 2 long runways, a working aerospace campus, cargo and maintenance operations, occasional military traffic, and a 2-gate passenger terminal that's about to be replaced by something bigger. The Boeing collection gets an airport counterpart. Of course, we've seen Jarizveki give us releases already with Boeing, right? We've seen all that in Seattle. But Jarizveki Design has been assembling a collection of American factory airports for years, all of them Boeing, Renton, of course, Everett, Boeing Field. And anyone who's flown into Renton or Payne know the studio's approach to manufacturing sites. Both sceneries put the production halls front and centre, modelled interiors and assembly lines so you could actually look at. Well, Mobile follows the same logic, but with a different manufacturer and a very different setting. An airfield beside Mobile Bay with rail and maritime access, which is why Airbus chose the site back in 2012. The studio announced the project back in February when it said hangars 1 and 2 were complete, and then it planned to model the key Airbus assembly facilities, and development updates through the spring and summer suggested it followed through. In May, the developer said the A220 final assembly line interior had been completed and corrected. The product page describes the result as a complete industrial maintenance and cargo complex, with all hangars included and selected facilities featuring modelled interiors. The developer also said the package includes airport-specific vehicles, animated people, jetways, trains, and ground traffic, plus selected landmarks, buildings, and bridges from the harbour and downtown area. And it includes a terminal that hasn't even opened yet. A detail that might raise your eyes or your eyebrows, a brand new terminal which is due to open in 2027 has been modelled and put into the sim. How cool is that? The developer leans into the site's past too, which is a good one. The airfield started life as Bates Field back in 1929, and the US Army Air Corps took over in 1938. It became Brooklyn Army Airfield, and then later Brooklyn Air Force Base. Major overhaul, supply and logistics centre during the Second World War, with roughly 17,000 civilian workers. The waterfront location meant aircraft and components could arrive by ship. The base closed in 1969, which hit the regional economy hard. the noise. But the runways, aprons, and hangars survived. And one of the stronger footnotes in 1984, Space Shuttle Enterprise arrived at Brookleys on NASA's modified 747 shuttle before continuing on to New Orleans by barge. Gotta say, man, this is pretty interesting. And, you know, Derish Vecchi, they make class scenery. Remember going into the Boeing factory and you're watching all the things. Like, it's nuts, man, isn't it? We'll have to grab this. And it's an Airbus factory. That's going to be interesting. That'll be interesting. Right, moving on. Norway's offshore gateway gets a detailed payware airport for flights in 2020 and 2024. Stavanger Sola has arrived at €14 with terminal interiors, custom jetways, and a selection of city landmarks. Some of the airports we've seen, they just seem interesting because of how they look, while Stavanger Sola is interesting because of everything that happens there at once. Norway's offshore capital runs scheduled airline traffic, one of the busiest helicopter operations in Europe, cargo, the Royal Norwegian Air Force movements, and general aviation, all from a single field on the southwest coast. And until now, Simmers have had to fly, well, all of it from a default airport. Iron Sim have changed that, the developer releasing its rendition of Echo November Zulu Victor for 2020 and 2024. They say it's a ground-up recreation built from extensive real-world references, and a feature list covers the areas you would expect from a mid-priced European airport. The developer lists 4K PBR textures throughout the scenery, optimized LOD, custom animated jetways, model terminal interiors, custom night lighting, and ground textures are handcrafted rather than sourced from the base sim. Around the buildings, Iron Sim said they placed custom clutter and ground surface equipment along with 3D passengers. There's a freeware Wombe airport for Sola. Is there? There's a freeware. I need to check it out. So we got some screenshots of it here. It's a very interesting airport, as we say. Cargo, general aviation, airlines, and also choppers heading on out. So it's the ideal kind of hub location. You know what I mean? Iron Sim. Looks nice. Looks nice. We'll have to give this a look. Stavanger opened in 1937. And all sorts of history, as you can have imagined, and it does open up as a gateway to the North Sea oil fields. So it's available over on Orbex, Anybills, or Sim Market. I don't know what the price is. Let's check out I&I Bills. You can pick it up for £14.39 or about €16.79 or $19.33 American. Hello there. If you're interested in buying any add-ons, there's an Anybills link underneath my name on the thing. If you're buying your add-ons, go ahead and use that. You know, so I can say that people use it. Yeah, and it works. Thanks. Uniform Goose. Good day, Goose. Welcome in, buddy. Hope you're well. Tubby, welcome in. We're nearly there, lads. Orbex, the next Papua New Guinea pack, puts aircraft wrecks in the scenery as a tribute to real bush pilots. We've seen a lot of these scenery packs from Orbex all around Papua New Guinea. And they're adding in more and more into this now. What they have, it includes what they describe as crash and tribute scenes with over 15 damaged aircraft models placed around the region. Hall says that they're his own estimations of what can go wrong in the Pacific Northwest, in the Papua New Guinea condition, and what they do not represent any real-life incident, adding that the scenes are meant as a tribute to the pilots who flew there. When Hall started the PNG lineup back in October, what we got was mostly hand-carved strips, short runways, and fast-changing weather. 6 packs later, the scenery is telling a story about the cost of flying in the environment. This new one covers 6 new locations, and then continues west, gradually descends towards river and valleys. This is kind of mad looking. So there's crashed-out aircraft, look. That's kind of interesting to see. I will say that these scenery packs are really good. Like, if you want to fly in Papua New Guinea, all of these packs, like these are class. Really challenging landing. If you ever watch Missionary Bush Pilot, absolutely savage content, like mad content, where he flies his aircraft. That's a Kodiak, actually, or is it a Caravan? I think that's a Kodiak he flies. But anyway, this is pretty cool to see. This is mad to see. Look, something different, isn't it? Yeah, it's a Kodiak. Yeah. Thought that. So This new pack is available on Orbex around $12 or $13, give or take, and you do get six new packs. With Pack 6, the series will sit at around 38 airstrips across Papua New Guinea Highlands, all of them compatible with each other and close enough to link into longer routes. It's a huge thing. So, yeah, pretty cool. VATSIM celebrating 25 years with VATSIM Listen. Yes, as VATSIM celebrates 25 years, they're proud to introduce VATSIM Listen. It's a new way to tune in and listen to live ATC communications from across the network. VATSIM Listen currently in the initial rollout phase, meaning access is intentionally limited while the team monitors the service for performance and stability. To use the service, you must be registered as a VATSIM member. During the early release, listeners are limited to 15 minutes of listening time per hour. In addition, only a set number of users can access the service simultaneously, which helps manage demand. VATSIM Listen is currently in its initial rollout. So basically, you can just jump on and have a listen to a controller, to a pilot, and it's a great way of kind of learning and figuring out what goes on, and you know what I mean? And they're still rolling it out. Gibbo was showing me this on his phone the other day. It was very, very good. He brought it up on his phone. It was classed. Elric, yeah, 100%. 100%. But yeah, I thought this was pretty cool. It's a great way for training. I mean, if you want to listen into busy areas, you don't even have to be connected to the sim. You can jump on in here to the website. It'll ask you to log in with VATSIM, and you go ahead and you pick who you want to listen to. It's pretty cool. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as it rolls out. Very interesting. Vienna rebuild from zero. Gaia have announced a Vienna reboot for 2024. Project is now called Vienna Airport Reboot. And anyone who's checked out what Gaia have recently done to some of their sceneries, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And this one's going to be interesting as well. So Gaia have promised a fully up-to-date airport environment, and Vienna is currently a moving target. Ooh. So there's a new terminal being built, and Gaia are trying to figure out how they're going to do it. So yeah, they're working on this. This seems to be the next major project for Gaia Simulations, and I gotta say, like they've really upped the ante, I think, with how they're making scenery. Do you know? So yeah, great to see Gaia making more stuff. This first airport was released in 2020. 6 years later, they're going back to it. That's pretty cool. FSDG have moved beyond just scenery. They launched its own flight tracking software. It's a one-time purchase. $9.99 Pro tier that unlocks TCAS and a post-flight analyzer. So flight tracking has been settled. Flight has been a settled corner of the hobby for a while now. Volanta took most of the oxygen out of the room when Orbex put it for free back in 2021. And we've tons of other ways in which we can track our flights. However, Flight Sim Development Group announced the Flight Suite, saying only that the team had been working on it quietly and is proud of the result. The free version went live over on the website the same day, and the pro version appeared beside it. Now, the free package covers 4 things: automatic flight tracking, real-time moving map, a logbook, and statistics that go with them. The app detects the start and end of the flight on its own. It works out your departure and destination airport without input, and it files everything you put into the built-in logbook afterwards. There's also an import function for logbooks you already have, so your existing history doesn't have to be abandoned. The moving map is also an area that FSDG highlight. It can be scaled to whatever size that suits your setup. It can be pinned to always be on top as an overlay when you fly, which makes it usable on a single monitor rather than requiring a tablet. The developer also highlights a prediction line that projects where your aircraft will be in 2 miles or in 2 minutes on the current track, plus optional VFO reporting points. Pro is a one-time purchase priced at $9.99. 5 things sit behind that, according to FSDG. The flight analyzer, TCAS traffic on a moving map, a search function on the map, alternative map styles, and the ability to show your active flight plan on the map. May not be for everyone. It's their way to track pretty much everything we use. All have flight trackers. SayIntentions have flight trackers. On Air have flight trackers. FS Hub have flight trackers. You know what I mean? But I think there's an option there, certainly. There's an option there, if you want to have a look at it. It's a free version if you want to check it out. Maybe you're in the market for a flight tracker just to see where you're flying. You know what I mean? Captain Kenobi's here. Good to see you. Also, Lord Freet is in the house from Flying Fries. Good to see you, buddy. Now, where is this? More. Fly the Line. This is a pretty cool add-on that released. Jesus, it's a couple of years ago now, isn't it? Just Flight published this, and it was basically a career mode, Fly the Line. And it kind of did something different. With the career mode, you're able to kind of build your kind of house and design your stuff, and it was going that neck of the woods, right? They've recently updated it. And what we have here now, it's a substantial update to Fly the Line, the airline career add-on developed by Pulsar Sim. The app has been rebranded from Short Haul to Fly the Line Airline Edition. And the two headline editions are Long Haul Route Generation and a Schedule Manager for creating and sharing custom schedules. Anyone who already owns the Short Haul Edition can log into the Just Flight account, re-download the software at no cost. New buyers can pay $39.99, which is the same price the original one launched, and the Short Haul side of the app is unchanged and remains included. The scope change here is larger than the rebrand suggests. When the app launched last year, Just Flight's own support FAQ stated plainly that Fly the Line was not built to manage long-haul sectors, and that the longest routes in its world would ran to about 6 hours each way. Fly the Line now generates schedules ranging from 30-minute hops up to sectors of 20 hours, and players choose between short and long-haul networks when setting up their very own airline. Adding long sectors to this particular app is not simply a case of raising a limit. The gameplay loop is built on time management, with 5 days on, 4 days off shift patterns, end-of-day activities, and well-being and fatigue stats that feed back into your performance score. A 14-hour sector does not slot neatly into a structure tuned around 2 or 4 sector days. So there's all different things you can use that would reduce fatigue, give you your rest. Fly the Line, it's kind of like the pilot simulation. Even here, meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, you can kind of see where this goes. We had a look at this before. It was intriguing to see, but it's very much you are the pilot and you are flying this. You can expand it into more after that, but it's very much aimed at you as the pilot. And you got to figure out how you're getting on from the summary of your flights, the performance of your flights, but also you as a pilot yourself. How are things? How many days on? When's your next day off? What's your fatigue like? Were you late for a schedule? Were you on time? Jesus! Thank you, Gene. I really need to fix those alerts. They're terrifying. It's only for Gene they're doing that. We need to fix that. Gene, any moment now. But anyway, it's been quite a steady first year. So it came out in 2025. Post-launch support has been reasonably active, and the August 2025 build opened up smaller airfield and fixed a number of bugs. So this is just now being updated. All updated, and Fly the Line is doing its stuff. Great news there. Now, we're nearly there. I keep saying this, but sure, look, this is what happens when you go away for a week. Turtle Beach puts a Hall Effect HOTAS on Xbox for $279.99. Pre-orders have opened today for the Velocity 1 Flight Stick 2, which is a dual throttle and universal sim mount, with all 3 units shipping on September 21st. Turtle Beach launched the Velocity 1 back in February 2024. It came with an asterisk that ruled out a big slice of the community, $399.99, and it was Windows PC only. Xbox simmers who wanted a proper stick and throttle setup were left choosing between the original Velocity 1 flight stick, where 2 small side levers had to stand in for a throttle quadrant. Now we have the new full HOTAS system, which is pretty cool. They open up on the Flight Stick version 2, the Velocity 1 dual throttle and combined Velocity 1 HOTAS bundle, and the pricing works out at $279.99 for the combined unit. The new Flight Stick offers 3 spring tension settings and adjustable spring responses, which is precisely what the 2022 Flight Stick didn't have, and the original stick reviewed well on features, but its fixed, very stiff centering spring was a recurring criticism at the time, with many noting the base could lift off the desk under normal inputs. The new tension system sounds like a direct response to improve this behavior. This is pretty cool, right? So for Xbox, it doesn't sound about PlayStation, but certainly for Xbox, a full HOTAS system for that price, that's pretty decent now. With Hall effect sensors, that's even more decent. So you're getting a joystick, throttles, tons of buttons, and a throttle system with a landing gear and tons of buttons. If this comes to PlayStation, I'll be jumping up and down very happily. Do you know? What else do we have here? The Ford product in the Velocity 1 Universal Sim mount, a clamp style bracket built from 3 steel plates at 3 16-inch thickness. Right, all interesting stuff. But it's good to see Turtle Beach with new products, because they kind of exploded onto the scene and then they kind of went quiet again. They are working on it, but this is only for Xbox. PC or Xbox, nothing yet from Turtle Beach when it comes to PlayStation. Maybe it's a licensing thing, who knows. Flight Control Replay 6 has released, complete now with cinematic cameras and full flight telemetry. And what makes the Flight Control version 6 a couple of new features. They're able to use LVARs so they can show better, if the gear is down, flaps are down and all this. It can also do flyby mode natively rather than replaying. And it has its own camera version built in here now as well. I don't use Flight Control Replay. I need to spend a bit of time using it. I'm too kind of autopilot now with chase plane. But Flight Control Replay version 6, which will allow you to record your flights. It'll add in additional aircraft for the air show stuff. It's smart now. It'll automatically record your takeoff, your approach, your landing. It doesn't worry too much. It knows when you're in like the cruise, so it doesn't record all of this. It's gotten a lot smarter. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty good to see. The best bits, I suppose, from the highlights. LVAR recording is a huge thing with that Fabio has put into this, because there's nothing worse. You go back to a replay and the landing gear isn't down, or the gear, or the flaps aren't down. It was always an immersion breaker if you're trying to record, right? Plus, you have the ability of take control of the flight where you play it back to. It's pretty cool what this can do. So yeah, I need to spend a bit of time in it. Flight Control Replay version 6 is now available from Sim Market, priced at $24. If you had Flight Control Replay version 5, you're entitled to a discount at €12. If you bought Flight Control Replay version 5 on or after June 30th of this year, this is a free upgrade. So yeah, we'll need to check it out as well. I just haven't used it. A quick video here just to show us, but you get the idea of what these replays can do just by having a quick look at this. Do you know what I mean? We'll play some music. Cinematic mode enabled. So it's a full camera system. So plenty of changes coming in there from Flight Control Replay. I haven't tried it myself, Captain Kenobi. No, I need to. I need to give this a blast. I don't have any replay tools in Flight Sim, because there is one already built into the sim, but it's a bit kind of meh. Do you know the difference between this and chase plane? This records it, and I'm fairly certain this won't work with chase plane, because this is using its own camera engine. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. Do you know? So yeah, I've never used it. I don't use any flight sim record. All the videos I make, I do them live. We'll do it live. I'll fly the aircraft from outside, or I don't use any replay tools whatsoever. Every bit of footage I record, be it for a trailer or otherwise, that's shot live. I'm an idiot. But that's the way I've always done it. You know what I mean? If I had a replay tool, could you imagine the crack I'd have then? You know what I mean? Is there a Sea King on the way? Asks Tarnish. Yes. I don't have a release date, but yes, Tayag's Hangar are actively working on the Sea King helicopter. And you know it's going to be good because it's Tayag's Hangar, right? So that's Flight Control Replay. I'll have to check it out. Small bit of news here. We have Sim Global Expo. I put this up on Discord today. Another one. Here we have another one. This is another expo. So at the moment, we have confirmed events in March, which is FS Weekend. We have FS Expo in the United States. We now have FSIM UK, a brand new flight sim community meetup, which is happening in Bristol. And now the Sim Global Expo, which is going to be starting up in January in Birmingham at the NEC. And they're calling this a first dedicated exhibition for sim racing and flight simulation. Now, it's not just sim racing. They do truck sim, farm sim, all the sims, racing sim as well, of course. And they want to get flight sim involved here. This could be huge. Could be huge. So this is going to be happening in January. I'm keeping my eyes on it. I do know that the NEC in Birmingham is just an exceptional venue. The airport is close by. Plenty of accommodation options, and the venue itself, it's massive. It's huge. It's built for this. You know what I mean? So it'll be very interesting to see what the crack is. So there's information available there. Expect a lot more news soon. But it looks as if the UK is going to be getting a dedicated exhibition for sim racing and flight simulation. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. As I said, there's information over on Discord about it if you want to learn a little bit more. It's going to be on in the NEC in Birmingham, and it's happening on January 16th and 17th next year. Sim Global Expo. So we'll have to check it out. We are going to Birmingham in October. That's our next outing. And more than likely, I'll be at this one as well. More than likely. You know, we'll see what the crack is with Ryanair. But we'll see what the story is. Flight Sim UK, its tickets are now available. I know there's a good shot of our own guys going to this in Bristol. We're looking forward to that. And a good few of us are already booked. We're planning to get in on Friday. The Irish contingent, as Gibbo said earlier on, we're going to bug out somewhat early on Sunday. It's just the way the flights are. But we're there Friday and Saturday. Very much looking forward to that. It's being held at Aerospace Bristol. They do have a Concorde on display, and a number of exhibitors, including MOZA, Inibills, and so on, have already said, yeah, we're going to be there. We're going to be there, right? Homewrecker, yeah, we have to do something in Ireland this year as well, 100%. Don't know when, but we'll do an Irish meetup this year. I think Adam's gone out to do a recce on runway 28. Adam, will you do a recce on runway 28? Right. But yeah, so October is the FSIM UK, and then January is going to be Birmingham. So there's a lot of events on now, right? We'll see what happens. But tickets are now available to the FSIM UK. That's the one in Bristol. We're going to that for sure. And yeah, I'd love to see you there. Would love to see you there. And there's going to be plenty to do. As you can see, I mean, they have a Concorde. If nothing else, they have a Concorde. And you can get up and have a look at it and say, be Janie then, you know, there's a Concorde, right? Brilliant. Now, news from On Air, because there's a lot of interest with On Air, which is great to see. In the companion app, there's this new feature, which has gone into closed beta, and then it'll go into the open beta. But I want to talk about it briefly. We're going to be using On Air tomorrow on our stream, but we have something new. There's a new flight training page with practice exercises with no XP and no reputation on the line, just airmanship. Right? Engine out landing. The instructor will cut your engine at 2,000 feet over the field. You need to glide down and put it on the runway or the grass. Slow turn practice. Hold your altitude at minimum speed through a full 360. And then you have a full check ride practice. The complete exam, taxi to landing, end to end, with nothing at stake. This is all about teaching you flying, airmanship, and it's all being controlled inside of On Air. So these are going to be made available very soon, and we're going to probably have a look at these, if not tomorrow, the week after. There's a lot of cool stuff on the way with On Air, and you know, a lot of questions. Look, what is the difference between the companion or the Windows app? On Air have now released a bit of a wiki to say, well, this is what's working on each. You have the On Air companion, which is the newest, and then you have the Windows app as well, which is like the legacy. There's a full list here. I'll share this with you in the chat. because I know you guys are asking questions. I think the idea is eventually move everything over to the on-air companion, but it'll just show you what features are available on which one right now. On Air are doing incredible things behind the scenes. They're head down, they're keeping busy because they're just adding features with the objective of making everything easier to navigate and understand. That's where the companion app comes in, right? So we're going to be doing some flying tomorrow with On Air. We're going to be going through maintenance and, the 100-hour inspections, basically looking after our aircraft. It's just one feature of many that's available with On Air. But at least what they've shown us now on the companion and the Windows app, it shows you the differences between it. So you know which one you might want to jump on. I think eventually everything will go to the companion app. You'll be able to do everything with the companion app. But yeah, it just gives you an idea of where they're at right now. There's tons upon tons of stuff, right? Tons of stuff. Now, our last bit of news comes from SayIntentions, because the lads have been absolutely flat out busy. And I need to show you a couple of really cool things. First and foremost, they have continued on with their preferred pilot program. We saw the inclusion of IVAO pilots and controllers. Now they have extended the same invitation over to VATSIM, which means depending on what your rating is on VATSIM, SayIntentions recognize your usage on that platform. And depending on what rating you hold, you can get up to 15% off your SayIntentions subscription by being a VATSIM pilot, right? It's the same program that launched with IVAO. It's now open to VATSIM pilots. Basically, it rewards pilots and controllers who put the work in. Learning procedures, flying events, controlling live traffic, keeping your comms tight. That's the real effort, and it earns real ratings on networks like VATSIM. This program recognizes that effort with a standing discount on your subscription. We think it's a natural fit. SayIntentions.ai is where you build confidence with AI ATC when there are no stakes and no schedules to keep. VATSIM is where that confidence meets real people, real controllers, real pressure. The two go together, and your VATSIM discount is SayIntentions' way of saying the training you have done matters. This is awesome from SayIntentions, by the way. This is them saying, hey, you're on IVAO, great, brilliant. Here's a discount. You're on VATSIM, great. Here's a discount. And the reason being is they understand that we all got into flight sim. Maybe we used IVAO, maybe we used VATSIM, but SayIntentions is very much positioned as a great entry point to any online network, because you can learn, train, practice, rehearse, do all these things using SayIntentions, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So what we have here, if you're a PPL or P1 for a pilot, you can get a 10%. If you're instrument rated P2 or higher, you get 12%. Or if you're a commercial rated P3 or higher, you get 15%. On the ATC rating, an S1 tower trainee gets 10%, S2s get 12%, and a C1, which is like approach or departure, they get 15%. That's pretty cool. One discount at a time, base subscription only, active subscription required, and the ratings are read from VATSIM. So they pulled the details from VATSIM. All right. But the idea being is IVAO was the first, VATSIM makes two, and SayIntentions built this preferred program to reward serious online aviators wherever they train. And we are not done. There's more on the way. Which is great. So great stuff from SayIntentions by including VATSIM pilots. They'll give you a discount. Basically, SayIntentions are rewarding you because you've already done the hard work. It's a great thing to see. That's the first bit. The second bit is the AI uplink for GSX. That's now been released to all subscribers, right? Meaning that you can now control GSX if you have an active SayIntentions subscription, and it works brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. And this newest one got released yesterday, I think, just yesterday. A new feature, and they call it pushback pressure. Now, you might say, basically, they've built this in. Now, before we panic, it's turned off as default. You need to go into your pilot portal, go down to the settings, and now you can turn it on. And you have a couple of different options. It can be off, it can be up a small bit, it can be up on very high. How it works is, real airline crews watch the clock. If the jet bridge is still activated or attached 5 minutes after the time we were supposed to push, well, someone's going to say something. If it's 20 minutes, well, somebody's going to say something a lot less politely. And that pressure is part of the job. Pushback pressure brings that into the world of SayIntentions. You turn it on and your co-pilot and cabin crew will start watching your filed off the block time, and they'll sit on the blocks. If you sit on the blocks past that time, they'll start getting anxious. How anxious? Well, that's up to you. It's off by default. Nothing changes for anyone who doesn't want it. But how it works. The clock starts when your flight starts. As soon as your sim brief plan loads, from here until your wheels start rolling, your crew knows exactly how far past your off block time you are. Once you're late, the co-pilot and cabin crew take turns bringing it up. Each of them says something in their own voice. A dry first officer and a chatty one will complain about the same delay very differently. That's intentional. Pushback pressure is not a single canned nag on a timer. It's your crew reacting to a schedule you filed in the personalities you've already chose. The settings control how quickly and forcibly which it happens. If it's casual, they'll be polite, a little bit resigned. We're running late here, Captain. If they're pushy, they're like, you need to go, like we're dead late. And if they're unhinged, it's full Karen mode. Yeah, right. And then ground is watching this as well. For instance, if you're scheduled off the block, we should have been pushing back at 12 o'clock. It's now 12:30. You call for pushback and they might say, we're kind of busy now. We'll get back to you in a few minutes. And this happens. How many times, how many times have you been on an airplane saying, we have a delay, we're waiting on a pushback, a passenger hasn't showed up, they got to take their baggage off the aircraft. Like, there's all these things that happen. So it's another option that's in there to giving you, a more deeper experience with SayIntentions. And it's off by default. If you want it on, you can turn it on. Similar to what we did with the cabin crisis, which also got a massive overhaul, has cabin crisis. And these are options you can have on or you can have off. And I like the way they've done that here. What we have here is once ground has taken the delay over, your co-pilot stops bringing it up. It's now the ATC's problem. And then the cabin crew sitting behind a closed door with no radio, but they're going to carry on regardless given out. You know what I mean? Your co-pilot, your cabin crew, ground and tower all know your file departure time and how far past it you are. You can ask any of them what time you were due off or how late you were running, and you will get a straight answer. That alone changes how a departure session feels. You're not guessing whether the sim noticed. The people around you know the plan that you loaded, and they'll talk about it like a crew that has somewhere to be. And on the way in, pushback pressure also covers the other end of the flight. If you land behind your filed arrival time, your cabin crew will apologise to the passengers during the arrival. We're sorry we're late because your pilot's a moron. A brief acknowledgement if you're a few minutes down. A proper apology past 10 and a genuine one past 15 minutes, complete with sympathy about misconnections. Departure discipline and arrival honesty are the same idea from opposite ends of the flight. Isn't it pretty cool, isn't it? And then they go into why they built it. It's all about adding that extra few layers of realism. You may want it on, you may want it off, but I think it's pretty cool that they've added it in because, well, sure, we have the option now if we want to experience, geez, what would happen if we were 20 minutes late? You'll find out fairly quick. You know what I mean? Pushback pressure is so good, your co-pilot gets so annoyed. And you can select how annoyed they get, right? But yeah, Heisenberg knows all about this. It's pretty cool though. Great new feature. As I said, SayIntentions, the lads are geniuses. I mean, when you think of the features that they're able to dial into it, the updates, they now have the preferred, the preferred pilot program. So they're giving discounts out to people who work on different networks. They're doing amazing things, lads. Just amazing things. So keep an eye out for it. There's more changes coming. These lads are always working on the next thing, which is great to see. So awesome stuff there from SayIntentions. Now, next up, we need to grab Zach because we're running a little bit late. So we're going to go over to the MOZA website and we're going to press a button and see, can we grab Zach? I am there now. Hello. We shall say a simple hello. And we'll have a look at the MOZA stuff. Then we're going to check out some aircraft. Ready. Am I late or am I early? I told him around 2100. Oh, yeah, I'm 20 minutes late. You didn't send me the link. Link? What link? Discord. Cyrus T is here. Good to see you. Steve says the website says chase plane works with flight control real play and sky dolly. Hope this is true for version 6. Not sure, Steve. I need to ask Edson, but I don't think so. It works with the native flight control replay built into whatchamacallit, the sim. Do you know? Just got okay. Anyway, Cyrus, how are you, buddy? There's also other news as we're waiting on Zach. Not because I'm late now. We're late because of Zach. He's going to kill me. Did you see that news about Hughes? Delivery guys. Seemingly, FlightSim.to seemingly packaged freeware liveries and they tried to sell it. Well, I don't have access to the channels. This channel. We use... Okay, hang on. I have to call Zach. We're pressing buttons. Hello there.
No problem. I was saying that if you're sitting in a channel in your Discord, I don't see it. So.
Yeah. No, I'm in Egypt. I always use this channel.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
I'm very organized like that. Very organized. Now, let me see. I just want to make sure we can hear you properly. Have you a camera on to show us, or are we just chatting to you?
I can turn the camera on. It's no problem. Give me 1 second.
Super duper. Oh, there's a camera. Hang on a second. Will this button work now? This is going to be brilliant. Hang on there now. Jesus. This is why we do things live, right? Right. So that the first part works. This is brilliant. The first part worked. Now I just need the second part to work. Bear with me. And there we have the camera working. Brilliant. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Now we'll ask the lads in chat, how is our audio and visuals working out? As we'll make you a little bit bigger. There you go. Oh, look, it's very lovely and sunny where you are.
Yeah, it's sunny and 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
100 degrees, though. That's great news.
My air conditioning's set to 66, so we're all good.
Brilliant. Zach, you're very welcome back. It's been busy since you were last here. I mean, so many new releases from MOZA. It's great to see it on the flight side of the fence because we've had so many new releases. That MX or the MGX1000, I think, an absolute game changer. And it's just been flat out, man. How are things?
Very busy.
I can imagine.
Very busy, but very fun. As a brand, we're very excited to bring these products to the community, and we're very grateful and happy and excited for the feedback that we're getting. So it's just been extraordinarily busy. A lot of new opportunities are opening up with the product lines, and busy. That's the best way to put it. Busy but exciting.
It is great to see because, I remember when you were talking to me before saying, look, Murph, there's a lot of cool stuff on the way. We've been busy working on these new ideas. And I think, the mind-blowing releases, apart from, say, the MGX1000, which I still have to say it's the best price, feature, and build quality you're just going to get. I think it's an amazing bit of kit. And the fact that, it just works. There's the software. I mean, MOZA already had the software in place. But then he expanded that then when it came to some of the other controls, which was kind of, I'd say, maybe a new perspective from MOZA. You were targeting aircraft-specific systems. In particular, you were chasing Airbus with the MA3F, which is basically looking at what you find inside Airbus. And I was kind of like saying, really, is there going to be a market for this? And then I tried the gear, and it's you've competition in this field from other hardware creators, but you've managed to do something slightly different here with MOZA because, as you said, you wanted to see what was missing. What do the users look for? And that's very much in these products because, well, they feel more solid. The software is pretty much plug and play. And you're thinking about us that have issues when it comes to lack of USB connections. So a lot of your stuff will just daisy chain out of the box.
Yeah, I think I had mentioned I've given 2 presentations now at the previous 2 big flight sim events, and I keep reiterating that a big focus for us is scalability for the home user. So what we want to do is we want to be able to have that one powered base, take a one USB connection, and then we can daisy chain everything else off of it. So that's a pro for not only consumer integrators who are building home cockpits or home systems, and they may be USB limited, but also potentially professional integrators as well, or prosumer integrators who are building full home units, being able to run some RJ45 cables versus 100 USB cables.
And that's the thing, using the RJ45, it's just your standard Ethernet cable. It just gives us huge amount of scope when it comes to powering up these units. Like from the screens, not needing to use additional HDMI, you can just run them off USB, and you can use RGs or RJ45s as well.
RJ11, sorry.
Or it's RJ11.
Yeah.
But it frees up completely the need of extra connections, hubs for hubs. You know what I mean? It's great to see. And like with the products already released, I mean, we've seen the stuff here now. We have the FMP18 for the F18, which is when people see this, they're automatically going to think, okay, well, this is DCS. But in reality, this is any sim because, I mean, we got screens here, the buttons, yes, they're going to be out of the box ready to rock with the MOZA software, but we can still program each and every single button directly ourselves as well.
Yeah, so this particular panel is interesting because I'm not sure if you've seen some of the YouTube reviewers and what they've done with this panel, or even some of the social media posts that we've made, but people are dual purposing this panel. Well, I don't even know what the way to say the number is, but I've seen this panel used in 50 different ways, from the Apache to the Viper to the F-18, but also because we're moving big on USB display link, USB-C displays, etc. A lot of YouTubers, a lot of content creators, because these are all VESA capable, are turning these into airliner flight decks. So people are buying the F-18 panel and then putting the 3 screens side by side and popping out those displays. So because they're all VESA capable, I mean, it's kind of I didn't even think about that use case when it first came out, and then I saw some different YouTubers reviewing it, and they turned it into an airliner flight deck.
I was chatting to Simblitz, and we were saying, we're like, how do we get this connected? And I'm like, well, how does it mount? And then I was like, these are screens though. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, couldn't we use these in like other stuff? He's like, yeah. And the next thing is like 3 screens together. We have like, before we even knew what we wanted to do, we're just using the screens without the frame, right? Because these are magnetic frames, meaning that you can actually utilize these as screens, and then you can put buttons around them as well. Like it's we've seen it before from MOZA. With the AB9 came out with it, the AB6 can do it as well. It's like, okay, here's a phenomenal flight stick with force feedback, and then it's like, could I use this in truck sim or racing? Can I like make it be a gear shifter? And like, it's because the build is so good. They are universal. As you say, you got the VESA mounts in there, so you can pretty much mount them anywhere. It's genius. It's absolutely genius. I love to see it. And like, when you see these screens, you're thinking, they're not full color. They're just green. No, these are full color screens, man. I mean, if you wanted to, you could put a live stream on one of these.
Yeah. To be honest, sometimes when I'm flying, because in my home setup right now, I have the dual G1000s.
Nice.
Sometimes in cruise, I'll go ahead and pop up a YouTube video on one of them, but yeah, so all of the displays are just display link displays. So the amount of things I've seen people doing with them. I had one of the content creators I work with who's primarily DCS. He sent me a video of him watching Top Gun on one of them while he was flying the F-18 in DCS. So, but anyways, yeah, I mean the screens that pop off. I mean, obviously, a lot of people can see, the direction that we're taking as a company and the scalability, the universal use cases, and also the customizability, essentially releasing accessories for the base product.
It's great to see. And like, it goes beyond obviously those few releases, because you've now just brought out the new MFY Pro line, right? So
Yeah.
this in its, and I have the yoke. I'm mad to see the upgraded base, but this in itself is a game changer. When MOZA first released the AY210 and you had that detachable yoke, I mean, I think everyone said to you, Zach, are you going to like do more yokes? And you were like, maybe, and here we have the first iteration of a new yoke, which comes with, 4.3 touchscreen.
Yeah.
That works as any other screen. I mean, yes, you can show a PFD, an MFD, Navigraph, a live stream. I mean, it's a screen, which is genius on the yoke.
Yeah, so this particular screen and something that I personally hadn't really thought about was I know you haven't received the AY90 yet, but when you do, you'll notice that on top of it there's actually mounting holes. So there's some little rubber grommets that you pull out. You can mount various types of stands, etc. to it. So, for the user who's a compact user, this particular setup would allow them to display something like the engine instrument page that you would find on the G1000 on the MFD. And then use a single G1000 screen mounted on top of their AY90 as the PFD. What that screen also does is something you'd be interested in, because I'm pretty sure this is a suggestion that you made a while ago, was being able to modify profiles on the fly. So you can actually modify your force feedback profile in real time through the yoke head now.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So, we're trying to make things, as you can see in the video right there, it just went past the adjustment screen. So, a big thing for us is definitely modularity, scalability, and customizability. And then we're trying to, as you can see, target multiple customer sections, right? So, the AY90 though is very comparable to the CLSE from Brunner in terms of total spec. So it's still a pro unit in terms of the output and the build quality, but definitely substantially more cost accessible than a lot of market options.
What I thought was mad, right? It was the new base. So the AY90 base, right? When you compare that to the AY210, now the AY210 is sold as a bundle and it's on sale right now, but that has like 9 Newton meters of torque. Its push force is like 210, where we have the AY90 a little bit lesser, but still, as you say, up there with, it's actually more powerful, I think, than Brunner's, right?
It's slightly less. So I think Brunner's CLSE, which is their pro line, is around maybe 5.8 or 6 Newton meters.
Okay.
But the AY90 is about 4.2. So it's very much up in everyday GA flying. You're not going to notice 1 Newton meter of force unless you're diving in the yellow arc and then trying to pull up. But yeah, I mean, it's still very much a pro unit or prosumer unit, but obviously at a more accessible price point.
Quick question, Zach. On the yoke itself, when you're going through these screens, right? The checklists, are they coming in from the sim or are they through MOZA?
So the gauges are through MOZA Cockpit, but it's pulling all the telemetry from the sim. So,
okay.
So unlike the G1000, so the MGX1000, obviously, as you know, because I'm pretty sure you have one of them right now, you pull that screen from Microsoft Flight Sim or from X-Plane. And theoretically, you could also run other G1000 base softwares on there, like if you ran a telemetry-based G1000 software like Mindstar. you can theoretically run all of those on the G1000, but the stuff displayed on the MFY Pro is pure telemetry from the sim, and then they're gauges that were built in MOZA cockpit. So right now, we don't necessarily support third-party gauges or display on the Pro yoke. It's something that we're exploring, but because of the software and how it's transmitted through the yoke base, it's a little complicated. So before we can support third-party applications for it, we have to kind of build a more palatable way for third-party developers to do that.
Can it work as an external monitor? So no.
No, the MFY Pro right now only displays the yokes from MOZA cockpit.
Okay.
Like I said, it's something that we're exploring, third-party gauges, but the reason why and I'm not an engineering person, and if your audience, wants to know, I can definitely get an answer from our engineering team, but essentially what I was told was because it has to go through the base. It's not a USB port straight into the monitor. It's through a yoke base, then through the shaft, and then through that pin connector system into the. It's a little hard to build third-party support for it right now, but it's something we're exploring. It's just not currently a supported feature.
If you build it, they will make it. I imagine it's only a matter of time, right? But I tell you, with these releases, though, I mean, what we saw last year at FS Weekend and then Expo, and then, this year at FS Weekend, and you're on the stage at Expo. I mean, MOZA have really delivered here. I mean, they've brought us a full lineup. It seems that the yoke has followed the same sort of lineage as the AB9 becoming the AB6. Now we have the new yoke, and it's still the quick release system, which is pretty great to see. I mean, it's the imagination only starts going fast here, considering when you look at the MOZA racing lineup in terms of wheels, interchangeable, different style yokes. So I imagine the future is very bright when it comes to ideas. And of course, with the new base, it's considerably smaller, right? It takes up less desk space as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about half the size of the AY90, or AY210 rather. The other thing to your point as well, and just in case there's any third-party manufacturers out there, we're very, very third-party friendly, very open to providing information or working with third-party yoke creators. As anybody who attended FS Expo saw this year, there's a third-party company creating a yoke for the AY or for the MOZA line. So that's something that we're definitely open to. We want to build an ecosystem that is, like I said, scalable, accessible, and something that every user wants in their home cockpit ultimately.
100%. Like, I think with the current lineup right now, folks are still looking for that, the left-handed side stick. I think that's because we have a side stick. It's just not the left-handed one. Any update on that? Like, I'm sure this has got to be a discussion point. I'm sure, when you sit down with the team to say, look, people want it. I'm sure MOZA are aware. Yeah, we know people want it. We're trying to get it sorted.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so there's an active Reddit post on Reddit where our product manager, Joe, on the flight sim side is actively answering questions and putting, sometimes putting little teasers out there about collectives and force feedback rudder pedals and everything like that. Which I can send that to you after. But I mean, we actually do have a working prototype of the left-handed stick. We've displayed it at FS Weekend. It was usable at FS Weekend most previously. And then, I can't give an exact timeline on it, but I can tell you based on the fact that we displayed it at an event, it is coming.
Sweet.
We just haven't done much marketing around it. In fact, if you look at some of the boxes, I'm pretty sure on the MA3F box that there's a photo of the left-handed stick. So it is coming. It's just I can't give an exact timeline right now. We've displayed it at an event. Like I said, I just can't give any specifics on it or any timelines on it or any feature sets of it that weren't shown off at this weekend.
No, that's sweet. Of course, then we've also seen, releases when it comes down to our MCDUs and FMSs under the MOZA brand of the MA3F, of course. And I think one thing that folks just, when they looked at this, they were like, oh yeah, I've seen similar. And then when they got to try it, it's, well, look, it's a metal face in it. The buttons are way better. The screen is way better. There's just something about the build quality. Now, I think it might be a challenge for folks upgrading from other units, but certainly if you're in the market, I mean, this is probably the best when it comes to the options that are currently out there, be it the price and the build quality, and again the software of how easy it is. It just connects.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of users have commented on the price. The price is obviously competitive for being full metal with the heavy duty buttons on it, right? I'm pretty sure you have these units, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
You have yours. Yeah. So as you've probably noticed, the button pressing allows for very quick typing. I can just about type on it like a phone because they're not mushy.
Yeah.
So sorry, I just got distracted by something in the chat. So the particular units here, the biggest selling point for users, as you said, is the software side, and they're essentially plug and play for the supported aircraft list, which I don't want to speak on the exact list of supported aircraft because it's obviously fluid. But a big selling point is somebody who purchases our force feedback hardware or our hardware, and these units being able to operate within that ecosystem flawlessly. And essentially, they're plug and play. They're metal, and they have those heavier duty silicon buttons.
No, like it's phenomenal to see, and like with the aircraft stuff as well. I mean, people are asking the question, hey, if such an aircraft isn't officially covered just yet, what sort of options do we have? I mean, how is MOZA kind of addressing that? Does MOZA have to make all the different profiles available, or what options are kind of there?
Yeah, I'll be completely honest. The exact process for building the profiles, I'm not entirely sure on. It should be usable as an HID device. So as long as the buttons exist in the cockpit, you should be able to map them theoretically. I'm not sure about in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm pretty sure in X-Plane you can do that.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just got my units, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to dive in and experiment. But from the perspective of our brand, I mean, we're typically pretty big on customizability and functionality. And then again, if you have any suggestions, feel free to share them with me, or if your audience has any suggestions, feel free to share them with me. And I'll pass them directly to our engineering team, typically pretty receptive on the feature sets.
And again, it's just to remind folks as well, I mean, this is like, we don't always get to see this. It's highly advantageous because looking after MOZA on the US side especially, but we have a friendly face that we can reach out to, and when you consider other companies, we always don't have this. Usually you never have this. So it is highly advantageous to say, well, look at, I mean, your background, of course, has been flight sim for years and, of course, real world aviation. So there's no language barrier in terms of, hey, we're looking for this. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, it's great to see that. And as I say, like the MOZA software, it's fairly bulletproof. It's yet to fail me. It's never done anything I didn't want it to do.
I'll be honest, when we go to events, I'm very happy that we're using the MOZA cockpit software when we need to set up hardware and configure it, because there are certainly some pieces of hardware that before I was with MOZA I would use in my home cockpit, and they just were not. The software was not ideal.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So apart from all the releases from MOZA, I mean, that's kept you flat out busy, but you're busy yourself, man. How are things? Are you getting much flying done these days, or how goes it?
Yeah, I mean, I moved on to Florida in April from Michigan. Got back into flying after taking a month break or so, and putting 20, 30 hours in a month flying. So getting a lot of flying, I will say. Flying in Florida is not for the faint of heart in the middle of the summer. Getting into a metal box with no air conditioning, especially when you're flying with other people, is not ideal.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I think every flight I lose about 5 pounds. to be honest. So, but I love it. I love flying here. It's fun. It's challenging compared to Michigan because there's so much flying happening here. Uh, yeah, how about you? Have you got any flying done or?
No, I've been relatively on the DOS for the last couple of months, which is grand, but I make it look like I'm busy, of course. But no, I haven't done any flying. I mean, the last time I was out at the airfield, it's with the airplane, then we had heavy rain, and then our weather turned hot, which is odd for Ireland.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's as you say, like old GA aircraft in hot weather is not always the nicest place to sit. You know.
No.
Especially if it's a high wing, because you're just not getting any air. You know.
Yeah. Sheepskins. If I get into an airplane that has sheepskins in the middle of the summer, I take them off. Too much. But yeah, I mean, flying's great. Very busy with the MOZA stuff, and obviously looking forward to continuing. For somebody asking about me being at FSIM UK, unlikely as of right now. Too much other stuff going on at the same time. If anybody's going to be at Sim Game Expo in Chicago, I'll be there. So be sure to stop by and say hi. And then I have a couple other trips I need to do between then and FSIM UK. So it's very unlikely that I'll be in attendance. But as far as I'm aware, I'll probably be at FS Weekend for anybody attending, and obviously FS Expo.
Did you see that other event in Birmingham in January?
Yeah, the not Sim Expo, Sim. I looked it up. It's Sim Global Expo.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to hear everybody's thoughts on it. Maybe get in contact with the organizers and talk to them for sure. I know FSIM UK when it first was announced, it was kind of a little bit of a slow roll, but it picked up a lot more than I was expecting it to. I was not expecting that type of response for a new event. So I know we're excited to go. I know our team in the UK is excited to go, and definitely keep a lookout on our Discord for anybody who is interested in potentially staffing our booth or anything like that during the event, because we like to give the community opportunities to work with us, and more importantly, to get exposure to the industry for anybody who's interested in working in it. So we typically grab a couple people per event and have a good time.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I remember that for FS Weekend as well. So anyone who's thinking about going to these events, keep your eye on MOZA, because they, from time to time, will reach out to say, hey, and you want to, you get to put on the MOZA shirt and work with MOZA for the weekend, and you're paid. So yeah, it's a great inclusion with the community as well. But yeah, Zach. So I mean, how's your flight simming going? I mean, you have your rig set up there beside you. As you say though, time is limited. You're probably still dialing everything in, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, I set up this unit because I will be filming here in the near future a instrument flying tutorial series using the COWS DA40. It's the airplane I learned to fly on. And then the setup that you saw in the seat. So that's the primary reason why it's set up. But outside of that, I mean, I definitely I was going back home to Michigan for 10 days to get some flying done in the Aero, and there's supposed to be IFR all week. So I definitely hopped in it and used it as an IFR trainer for a bit. But yeah, sadly, I'm a bit busy now. So most of the time I hop in my home sim, it's for actual training use or actual proficiency purposes rather than fun. But what can you do, right?
What can you do, man? What can you do? No, listen, man. Go on.
I was gonna say I love what I do. Whole life revolves around it: hobbies, job, education. So I love what I do. So I'm not a complaint at all. But yeah, it definitely is fun.
Awesome. Well, listen, like from the updates from MOZA, I mean, we even saw Farm Sim peripherals, right? Which is great. I mean, and it actually looks class, right? I know there's a lot of our guys thinking, oh, hang on, Farm Sim, because like we haven't seen that since like the early SciTech days or Logitech, right? So it's pretty cool to see that coming to it as well. And it's just exciting to see that the flight sim catalog it's expanding rapidly. We've got yokes, we have FMS, we have military style display units, we have the force feedback. There's a lot of cool stuff released, and I'm sure there's a lot of more cool stuff on the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great to see. So again, for anyone, keep an eye on MOZA on the socials. We'll keep you up to date here as well. Zach, we'd love to have you back on again over the next couple of weeks, and just keeping us up to date with what you're getting up to, of course, especially with the flying, because I mean, you don't just fly. I mean, you're involved. You were doing B-25 stuff, you were doing Warbird stuff on top of your other flights as well, which is always interesting. Plus, some shared cockpit flights, especially with the MOZA gear, could be hilarious.
Amazing. Yeah, of course. I would be highly open to that. I think that it would be very fun soon, and it'd be interesting to see if it reflects. But from my understanding, we're going to be able to link multiple devices and synchronize them soon-ish. And we just released our SDK, which means that developers are going to have a field day. So it'd be interesting to see if by the time we do that, it's going to sound weird when I say it, but our joysticks move at the same time.
Synchronized joysticks, yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. I'm not promising anything. I just know it's been something in the pipeline, and now that the SDK is out as well, I'm sure developers are going to have a field day. But yeah, I'd love to do that. That'd be amazing.
Awesome stuff.
Maybe we could do a shared cockpit flight on the B-25 or the C-47.
Yeah, you'll have to teach me, but yes, 100%. It'd be awesome. But no, listen, Zach, thanks a million for taking time out of your busy schedule, just giving us an update on all these new releases. And to my own crew here, outside of the yoke, I've everything else to show off. We showed off the MGX1000. That was absolutely incredible. I want to tackle the FMP18 next, not just as an F-18 or military style setup, but you can actually use this in general aviation and indeed an airliner as well. It's the sky is the limit. So it's been awesome, and just massive impact from MOZA here. It's great to see, man. It is awesome to see.
Thank you. I mean, we really appreciate it. I'll pass on the words to our engineering team, and they're the ones that do the big part of the work, the hard part, the software and hardware product team. And then funny thing that you mentioned about the flight, the unrelated completely to what we're talking about, but regarding the farm sim thing, I saw somebody ask if they could use it as a collective, and then I started thinking, I was like, interesting.
You actually could.
Yeah.
Hang on now, because I don't know where it is in the website, but we saw the gadget here somewhere. We just got a raid from Alison Johnson. Ali, welcome in. We just covered Zach. Sorry, Zach. We'll hide that there for a sec. I saw it here somewhere. Marmy, is this a here? Hang on. Yeah, this one here. Could you use it as a collective? I mean, why not?
To introduce myself.
I mean, think about it. You absolutely could.
Yeah, it was just an interesting thing to think about when somebody asked about it. I was like, honestly, yeah, probably you could. Especially in like an Apache or something, because you have the designator control on the top of the handles. So yeah, it was a little interesting and funny to see that. But yeah, I mean, thanks for having me. Same thing I always say for you and your audience. I'll pop a message in your general chat if anybody has any questions or suggestions or anything. Always 100% feel free to reach out. I'm pretty responsive and pretty community focused, so I'd always be happy to pass that along to our team and answer any questions within the bounds of what I'm allowed to say.
Within the realms of it, yeah.
Within the realm, but yeah, for sure. Anything anybody has questions on or any suggestions, always feel free to shout.
Awesome stuff. Listen, Zach, thanks a million. Have a great day. Enjoy the hot weather. Stay inside at the with the AC, and we'll definitely catch up with you over the coming weeks, dude.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Sweet. Take care. All right. So that was Zach from MOZA. Incredible to catch up. MOZA have done so many friggin' awesome things over the last couple of months. And it's been really, really cool. So, yeah, great stuff there. Alison Johnson, who came in with the raid. Ali, thank you very, very much indeed. Great to see you, Mrs. 71 months as well, Ali. Jesus. Thank you very, very much indeed. Hope you're well, Mrs. Yeah, it's been a busy one tonight, lads. We're going to plow on because we still have more to do. But that was definitely an insight from MOZA. They've some pretty cool stuff. And like when you look at all the hardware here, if there's stuff that you're interested in, chances are I have it. And it's you know, we'll do it on a Wednesday where we show, you know, just like what we did with the MGX1000. Yeah, it's you know, I can show you from my perspective what we could use even with this kind of stuff. You're looking at it thinking, well, it may be, you know, I fly a bit in DCS, but then you say, well, can I repurpose this equipment for something else? And the answer is yes, you absolutely can. You absolutely can. And it's going to be the same with the yoke as well. Give it a little bit of time. But that 4.3 touchscreen on a yoke, phenomenal, right? Absolutely phenomenal. And of course, I'll be getting these set up for our VATS and flights when it comes to an FMS or an MCDU. I'm building a station over yonder. It's a MOZA station. It's not finished yet, but it's coming along. It's coming along. I'll get to show you soon. Well, I can kind of show you now, but like, remind me tomorrow. I'll show you what's going on over there. It's just a desk, but it's a whole load of MOZA gear. It looks class. So it's cool looking. Yeah, Ali, the friggin' migraine yesterday. You had one as well. It's like, I don't know. They're shocking, aren't they? Zach, anytime, my friend, anytime. Ali's waiting on new stock. Yeah, there's so the MGX 1000s, they sold out pretty quick because the price, they're excellent. And yeah, we got a yoke with a touchscreen before your car does, right? You know what I mean? Medic 24 Live, good to see you, bud. So we'll move on. So we have a couple of things to go through here. We won't dwell, or you know, we won't be too long at it, lads, because I'm anxious of the time for you. But I do want to catch up on 3 items. First up, of course, is the Black Square Commander, the 114. This released fairly recently. We took it out for a flight last Friday night. There are features on this aircraft. I still think it is probably one of the best looking Black Square add-ons that they've put out there. I think the visuals on this aircraft are absolutely insane. The detail and just it's just up there. I think it's the best visual simulation we've gotten from Black Square. Plus, the rest of the aircraft is exactly what you would expect. It is top tier stuff when it comes to the simulation of its systems, navigation systems, failure systems. This airplane is unbelievable. And at a time in 2026 when we're looking at general aviation, in a market that hasn't really seen a lot of top tier general aviation releases in quite a while, right? Now we're seeing them. Now we're seeing them because Black Square are definitely kind of leading the push with that, and it's great to see. So visually, the aircraft is absolutely stunning. There's no patch out for this aircraft yet. I'm aware Nick is working on a patch for this. Just a couple of little fixes, little refinements. Nothing major, but just enough to kind of keep us interested. And then, of course, in the cockpit itself, anyone who sees the airplane for the first time, well, you're going to know by looking at it. This is very reminiscent of a Comanche. It's very similar layout, right? Now, what is interesting is because we have state saving, this has actually recovered the airplane to the exact settings I left it. You'll notice that my fuel tanks are on. It left the window open. It left my nav lights on, right? And this is how the aircraft now handles state saving. It remembers everything. It even left the friggin' mags on. Look. It remembers everything. Even the battery. And now if I go in, there's a good chance this battery is probably flat. Battery 0. Why? Because I left the battery on after my last flight. Isn't that absolutely mad? So we'll recharge the battery. Battery condition and all is fine. But this is where you get the worry of, if you left the aircraft parked up, we left the chocks on and the engine covers. If you didn't do that, is that going to create problems? Who knows? Who knows? We know why the battery's dead. Stop you. But that's what happens with the airplane. If you leave it and you have state saving turned on, this is what happens. You know what I mean? Ali, best of luck. Have a good night's sleep. And we'll see you soon. So here we are with the Commander. We have the first working storm scope available in the sim. So if you have thunder and lightning, we can go ahead, well, turn on the battery. We'll turn it all on, right? We'll get rid of all this. We have a bit of fuel. And we'll see what happens. I have a fuel pump in here somewhere. Fuel pump. Hear it running? And like if we want to if we increase the revs here, have a listen, we can backfire this. A little bit higher, Murph. Higher on the RPMs. Hear that? So that's the engine. That's the engine backfiring, and that's something that student pilots. I've done that mistake doing a mag test. And a back right wasn't popular that day. But anyway, the sounds are excellent. Close this. So our storm scope is on, right? Avionics we need. And what we might do, we'll make things interesting here. I'm not sure will this work on the ground. It might do. But if we give ourselves a bit of thunder and lightning here, just for the sheer crack of it, right? This should give us information if we see thunder and lightning within range. Like, it's nuts, right? Where's the lights in here? Do you have lights somewhere? They're instrument lights, but we do have little switches for these. There we go. So avionics, dimming lights up on top, and they're all off. So we're looking for the storm scope. I don't see any lightning yet. Hang on, we'll go a bit mad here in the weather. There's a lightning strike. Must be strobe. Oh, that was lightning. And we might need to be flying for this to show. We'll show a 25 mile. And let it boot up. But effectively, it's a working storm scope. It should work on the ground. Yeah, it should do. We'll make the weather go a little bit more biblical, shall we? Light thunderstorm. So it's raining sideways, as we can see. And this should light up. You'll just see a dot appear somewhere in, we'll go 50 miles. It might not work at this range on the ground, but we'll see. You know, we got a flash on the screen, but it didn't pinpoint it anywhere. Could be too far out. Proper weather to take the 114 out in the spin, isn't it though? And it raining sideways. Isn't it great to see? But it's just, it's an incredible airplane. And you can even see like the, I think this is like a default thing, but you'll see where the, you know, you can see the rain running up on the canopy here, yeah, on our main. And just to show us, like, if we were to go off with this, it tends to slow down based on the prop wash not hitting the back of it. Like, it's absolutely nuts, this airplane. Black Square have just done an incredible job here, lads. Absolutely incredible. I need to figure out more on the storm scope. It does work. I have used it, and it certainly does work. But we'll get this aircraft properly locked up here now. Now, there was a way... Where was the control lock? It's over here. Here we go. And we'll change our weather here, because I want to show you some scenery. So, we will be flying this machine again soon, because it is absolutely incredible. It's just really nice to fly. And time of day, bring it back here a little bit. It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? It's a beautiful, beautiful machine. Hey, the Limbics, good to see you. Head is better, bud. Head is good. But yeah, it's absolutely incredible. So we'll be spending more time in this. There's quite a bit to learn from it. It's easy enough to jump in, but it's not straightforward to learn every single system, because if one thing fails, there could be many other things that fail with it. It's incredible. Now, where we are, lads, the backdrop. Well, this is Dundee. We're here in Scotland. And we used to have a scenery, a custom scenery. I think it came from Orbex I used to use. This is the latest release from UK2000, and it is that of Dundee. Now, UK2000, they don't bother with interiors or any of that. And they openly say it. We don't do interiors. We're about making the airport look believable. So, it, you know, when you fly in or you fly out, it looks believable. And that definitely appears to be what's going on here. So, we'll go for a bit of a spin and I'll show you. So here is the layout of the airport. We go a bit further down now because there's a fuel depot, I think, down the road. There it is. And then you have the football pitches. So this is kind of the layout we see here looking at the airport, right? So where the soccer pitches are, and then we have the fuel depot. So the fuel depot is correct, and that's modelled, right? Nice to see, nice to see. And then we come back out onto the main road. And then we're down by the front of the airport then itself. I think there's a hotel and whatnot down past it as well. Car parking in here. And then we're down by, you've got a couple of maintenance bays. And you'll see with the names, like Tayside Aviation are based here. Aren't Tayside down in Liverpool as well? Am I raving? Aren't they the same crowd? No. Thought they were. Around the front, the entrance coming in. Dundee Airport, fairly straightforward. Looks the job. Actually do have a tower in there, mind you, but it's just a man in a tower. There's no interior stuff. So you can imagine the performance. The performance is excellent. Because there's nothing really running. You know what I mean? Hi, it's Andy, lives very close to here. It looks spot on. Yeah, it looks pretty spot on. Isn't this a pub? This is a pub. There you go. Riverside Inn, pub and grill. Hey, Dundee could be a spot for a bit of plane spotting, lads, couldn't it? If you ever got the weather now, that is. Do you know? And then there's more stuff down here. There's a logistics park down here. I think it's Amazon. It is Amazon. So they have that modelled as well. This is nice. You have the fire training depot down at the bottom. Not the busiest places. Yeah, it's quiet enough. It's a beautiful location, though. Dundee is a gorgeous location. And then, memory serves me, you take off from here. Don't you go over Tesco? There's, you should be able to see Tesco from up here, I think. They use it as a visual landmark coming in. Or a visual reference point. There's the church. There's the train station. Isn't that Tesco's there? Isn't that like a huge Tesco in Dundee? Usually you can see it from the air. You know, where's all the Amazon? Yeah. Wait now, hang on. We have shops down here. Is that that's Tesco there, isn't it? In the real world, isn't that where Tesco is? Because it actually is as a visual reference point. Where's the bridges? Here's one bridge. And then we have the railway down below. You know. Yeah, so the first shopping centre you come into, it is a visual reference. That should be where Tesco is, which is there. Yeah, that makes sense. Just over the runway. Sumner, you take care, buddy. Yeah, the Orbex version, that's the thing, Eamon. I've been using the Orbex version, but I wanted to grab this from UK2000 just to see. Now, the LOD seems a little bit aggressive. You know, I don't know if you guys can see that when I'm zooming out, things are disappearing. Can you kind of see that as well? So the LOD might be a little bit aggressive. I don't like seeing that. When you're moving in, things start appearing. You get this scenery pop-in stuff. I think the LOD is a little bit aggressive here, to be honest. The Orbex version, I don't think I've no issues with it. You know. This is definitely more up to date. It's very optimized for performance, but it's just the that scenery pop-in. You can see from the hedges. See those hedges there in front of us? They'll disappear fairly quick. Do you know? Just Roy, take it fierce handy. Fierce handy. I still think it's pretty cool. I think in the just flight scenery, they actually give you the Avro or J in the royal colours, don't they? I'm almost certain they do. And then like there's an ambulance centre somewhere. Is that it? That's arrivals. In actual fact, that looks slightly off the height. Maybe it's not. But there's like an ambulance only area. I think it's here. It's somewhere around here where they go ambulance only. I might do a comparison to the other one. Yeah, emergency gate. They use this. The search and rescue units or air ambulance would come down to here, and then the ambulance would horse them off. But in case you were looking at it, you wanted to know, look, here is Dundee from UK2000. It's a solid airport. It looks the part, you know. The LOD is a little bit, and it's really only affecting the hedges. From what I can see that with I don't know how well you can see it on the stream, but the hedges have a bit of weird pop in, you know. Orbex, not just, did I say Just Flight? Sorry, it's Orbex. Orbex did the scenery here. I don't know why I said Just Flight. Orbex did a scenery here for Dundee, and it's grand. Again, I had no main issues with it. I'm not sure where the bridge is working in 2024. But the UK2000 one, this was around 18 quid, I think I paid. But it was just to see what it's like. It's one of those airports that has a bit of character to it. You're right by the water, and it's just a small little regional airport. You can use it for GA, you can use it for kind of business jets. Anything bigger than an ATR, you'll probably struggle. But it's in a nice part of the world. Dundee is a gorgeous place to fly. You're only up the road from Edinburgh. Many a time I've flown into Dundee and then taken GA up the road. ATR to Heathrow, there you go. It shows up pretty well on the stream. Nice, okay. There's a little bit of pop-in. Maybe you wouldn't notice it, you know. Logan Air run ATRs to Heathrow. Nice, okay. So that'd be Dundee. We'll check out the night lighting before we go. So we'll ramble in. Basic runway lighting. PAPI system installed. Does work. Not much going on in the ramp. It's quite dark out here. And to be honest, that doesn't seem right, does it? Because they're floodlights and yet they're not floodlighting. So I have a feeling the night lighting here needs some work from UK2000. Because it should not be that dark. There are lights at Dundee. You know what I mean? Taxiway lights look okay, but the terminal lights, there's nothing, like, there's nothing. That doesn't seem right to me. Because I know the Orbex scenery, it's a lot brighter, you know. So yeah, there's pappies, but there's no lights on the terminal, and there are clearly lights at the terminal all along the front here. You know. So I must load in the Orbex one, you know. I must load in the Orbex one to see what the crack is. But can't wait for the MCDU from MOZA. Kieran, yeah, it's really good, buddy. Real good. Right, last bit we're going to show you now, lads. And I'm excited to show you this one. This aircraft was the very first aircraft released by FSReborn, right? And it's a beaut. The Sting S4. Now, we have some options. We can go with the GTN 750 or we can use the G3X. I like using the 750. And we'll just go to my livery here that I always liked from FSReborn. Where are you? This one here. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. And sure, we'll go back to Dundee because it's nice. Yeah. So as I said, this was the first aircraft made by FSReborn. And it is gorgeous. And it actually came with the first working ballistic parachute. And it's just now been updated to work in 2024 natively. That means we get the native walk around, right? Not to mention everything has been updated. Raoul got all his aircraft working compatible 2024 straight away. This is the first of his existing catalogue to have them fully native inside of 2024. And there was differences he was telling us about. He was like, there were certain changes with the prop dynamics of how everything looked, all that kind of stuff, right? So this is inside the aircraft. Now it might look a little bit dark. That's because we have the canopy. If you open the canopy, see the way we got a tint in the glass, all right? And we have a tablet down here. So let me see. We'll close our little canopy here. And we get the sounds and all the rest, right? And if you have a look at our tablet, we can see. So we get a maintenance cover. So pedo cover, they're off, chocks off. You have maintenance, so you can see the bulbs, strobes, landing, all your bulbs, nav, strobes, and landing. Right and left tire pressure, front tire pressure, right? Realism settings, electrical failures, battery wear and tear, turn them all on. Fuel and payload, engine failures, engine wear and tear, all this stuff turn on. Landing gear wear and tear. Our maintenance, so oil is okay. It's pretty much a brand new aircraft for us, right? Car, good to see it. And we can see what these components are when it comes to the battery. You can replace it, you can recharge it. Our weight and balance, pilot, co-pilot, luggage. We can put in our fuel. Link center slider, so if you move one, everything moves together. See that? So you have the options. Or we can go individual. We have our settings. We can use the auto position AFB camera. We have a ballistic rescue system. Canopy, if you don't want to have that tinted canopy, I think it looks nice, but you have the option to remove it. That's pretty cool. I think that's a 2024 one. I could be wrong. And then prop pitch, lever sound. Yeah, we want all those. All right. So that's our tablet. Go ahead and pop him back away. In terms of running the aircraft, have I not set up views in this? Oh, mother of God, I haven't. Right, hang on. We'll quickly set some views. We'll give the aircraft some views. Vixen, it's going to be very close to a Vixen. And we'll just tidy up some stuff here now. So that's a nice view there, methinks. Save that. We do have a view there, but we don't need it for the door. So we'll bring you down to here, I suppose, for our fuel, right? 2 is going to be up the hill and have a look at our autopilot panel. 3 should be straightforward. That'll look at our GTN. And again, like you can change you can go with the G3X if you want it. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to put some power into this machine. We're going to put on the master switch. And this sounds pretty nice as well. It's a Rotax in this aircraft. So what else we want? We want our instruments turned on. We want our nav lights turned on. Auxiliary booster pump. Fuel needs to be turned on. Fuel is now on. Booster pump. Bit of choke. Emergency parachute. Don't touch that. There's our prop. Right. We'll go power. We'll say clear prop. And we'll go for a start. Not beautiful. Okay. Booster pump off. Flap operation. Look at the new proper animation. That's friggin' gorgeous, isn't it? Now, as I said, she's only a small little Rotax, but we'll go for a spin, right? Off the brake. Easy now. You've heated seats here if you want it as well. MDA is here. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome aboard, man. Flight controls are free and correct.
Approaching runway 27.
I'm going to do a quick blast off here. And as I said, what made this plane so different at the time, it had that ballistic parachute. Friggin' nuts, right? Right, let's go fly. Let's not go fly.
On runway 27 remaining. 4,400 feet.
Raoul, I'm after breaking your plane. What did I do here? Did I just shag the whole thing?
On runway 27 remaining.
hang on now.
4,300 feet.
What exactly did I break? And more importantly, how did I break it? Was it the fuel pump? Oh, it stalls. Hang on a second. What's wrong with the plane? What are we running that we shouldn't be? That's only pedo heat. Jesus, we're up against it here, Raoul. Where's Raoul? Electrical like turn off the failures. Maybe there's something I haven't done right. Turn off the failures here for a second. Right? Fuel pump is on.
Can I get a refund?
Bring up the RPM. Choke.
It's not the plane, it's the pilot.
It was the choke. It's alright! It's alright, it was the choke! Jesus, Murphy. I opened the choke to start it, and then I tried to push the engine with the choke out. And I'll show you it was the choke because I'll go back to my own choke is closed, right? And we can rev. No problem. Right? If I open the choke a small bit and I increase RPM, look at the prop. See that? So it's the choke. Right, we now know what it is. The problem was between this earpiece and this earpiece. I'm glad I sorted that. Right, let's go fly. Watch the RPM. Good man, Murphy. You're a developer's dream, so you are. Yupsy daisy. It's a beautiful little plane, this. Happy little plane.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Sounds great, doesn't it? The sounds are awesome in this thing. This is a beautiful little machine. Beautiful. This is why we have checklists. This is why Murphy isn't allowed to operate any sort of machinery after 9 o'clock. Right. I was trying to wonder what's wrong. I left the choke. Listen, that could have happened to anyone. You see the lights? Little strobe lights, look. Now I think there might be an LOD issue there. No, they're okay, okay. What do we like at night time with this machine? Look. She wouldn't be night rated, mind you. It's very nice. Do we want to have lights in this? That's the wrong button. What do we use for lights? Flashlight? No, flashlight? Why isn't my flashlight working? Is it Shift L? No. Okay, my flashlight no longer works. Do we have switches in here for lights? Fuel pump charge, heated seats. I don't think we do. Sure, there's no lights in this. It's not a nighttime going machine. But it does look nice in the dark, doesn't it? Do we like it? The Sting S4. It was the very first FSReborn airplane. And I gotta say, lads, it's a beauty. Like, look at the view we have out the window in this thing. This is like absolutely incredible. Look. Like, it is insanely good. Great visibility. It has an autopilot. Proper canopy, right? And we have that beautiful Rodax engine. And then let's say we experience an engine failure because you're a muppet like Murphy. All goes wrong. Don't panic. We deploy the emergency parachute. And just like that, there's a parachute. Isn't that mad? And this was the first aircraft in 2020 to have a ballistic parachute, not only fitted, but actually modelled. There's a weird LOD thing we need to figure out. I'll talk to Raoul on that. We're probably going to end up in the drink for sure. But isn't it mad? But look at the animation of the chute. Now, if we really want to get science, weather, come hither. What's the wind doing? Oh, Jesus, that's not good at all. Wind, yes. From the north. From the east. No, it's from the south. If we blow the wind from the south, it'll push us backwards. There you go. That's a genius at work there, look. Now that'll blow us away. That'll blow us away from the water. All is well in the realm. Don't worry, friends. It's all safe. We shall use the wind. Let's change the direction abruptly. Oh, right, we'll go this way a bit. And then no wind. And this will calm it all down. Gibbo was right all along. But you see even the detail in the back of the aircraft where we blew out the parachute, look. It's all broken glass. Annie Lennox would be having an absolute, you know what I mean? Not deadly. Is there a pink livery? Is there a pink livery? Do you know, I'm not quite sure, Mr. TPHI. We'll check it out, will we? Is there a pink livery? But lads, if you don't already own this airplane, it is a beautiful, small, general aviation aircraft. It's fun to fly. It looks great, sounds great, and it flies great. And it has the parachute there if you want, just for the sheer crack. We'll go into the aircraft and configure it, and let's look at the liveries, just to be sure. Your choice of avionics, a GTN 750, or indeed the G3X. And these are all the liveries. So there's a burgundy. I'm Ron Burgundy. I don't think there's a native pink one. No, I don't think so. It's a marketplace only release. How much is this on the marketplace? $24.99 US. And it's important to note, this was a free update. Sorry, a free upgrade. So it was built in 2020. It was the first of the FSReborn aircraft, and it's a native upgrade free for 2024. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Raoul is just a genius. $24.99. Double check the marketplace. They have sales on all the time. It won't show me the price of it because it's already in my library, but you get the idea. It is a gorgeous little general aviation aircraft. We'll load in here again just to show you, you know, without the thing being broken. Get Raoul to do a pink one. We'll ask him. We'll ask him. He'll probably tell me to shag off, but we'll ask him. We will do a group flight with this aircraft soon because it really is nice. Just for just nice kind of pleasure flights in a general aviation airplane. Isn't it gorgeous? Now the company Sting, where's my mouse? I need a, here we go. Sting S4. So it's TL Ultralight. Now these guys make a couple of aircraft. Right. So the TL3000, which is also in the FSReborn catalogue, right? The Sting S4, and we have the TL3000. The TL3000 is probably going to be the next native pack that we get, which is this one here. It's a high wing, right? I would very much love if Raoul did the other aircraft. You know, the Sling TSI. Oh, Jesus, I'd love a Sling TSI. In actual fact, I must do some views here. There's that view. There's that view. So if I do, let's see here now. I love the cameras we get from Aviation 101. So we'll do something like this. Something like this. We'll save that one. And then we had another one over here, did we? Yes. The wing. And we'll do this one here. Something like that. He's working on a 2020. Yeah, he's working on the next one, yeah. But isn't it a gorgeous plane? And there's the ballistic parachute in the back. It's like an airbag. It'll explode out and then it deploys to shoot. But as you can see, it's a small 2-seater, bring a briefcase. I mean, that's the useful load. And everything is controlled from inside in here. So I can remove this and that, close her up, and battery. Instruments, nav strobes, fuel on, leave the choke, fuel pump, and we give it a start. Pop. It starts like your car, like, you know what I mean? Isn't it gorgeous? Little Rotax engine. So there we have it. You sat in a TSI Murph. If I didn't post the pics, did you sit in the Aviation 101? Heisenberg, did you get to meet Aviation 101, Josh and Chelsea?
Approaching runway 27.
But if you're over at the Sling tent, I said that was deadly. There are great sounds out of this. You saw the aircraft that wouldn't let you in it? There's our flaps. And now, me new camera angles. Yeah, now you're talking. Save that position quick. And then we need to go to this one. And save that one. Excellent. I told them, yeah. You told them you knew me, and then they told you to leave. Isn't it gorgeous, this thing? It's a beautiful little airplane. And it sounds friggin' awesome. And even the handling, like, we bring it into a stall and we're very low, but sure, listen. Watch the stall on this. About 40 degrees. She pops. No stall horn. Interesting. Easy now. Can we throw it into a spin is the next thing. Not really. It's quite stable, this, isn't it? It doesn't like to spin. Right, we're bringing it in for a landing. Did you look at the Jabiru tent? Those Sling aircraft look friggin' gorgeous though, don't they? The Sling TSI. Any developers working on a 777-900 H-Pilot? Not that I'm aware of, bud. Not that I'm aware of. There's a runway. Get the speed down. Easy now. It's just a nice airplane to fly. Okay, there's a flap set. Sounds great, doesn't it? We're a little high. Speed is good. Easy now. PMDG are working on one. Are they? Easy does it. There's a touchdown. Isn't it nice? Did Oz fly a Sting S4, did he? It's available in the marketplace, and it just goes to show an investment into an FSReborn aircraft. This pretty much is a testament. It's a free upgrade to a native version, which is nice. The little plane that could. The ground handling is a little bit giddy. I'll give it that. Well, this hit the prop. Oh, jeez, I never thought of that. Oh, we're okay. Phew. You bought it in 2020, still have fun with it? Yeah, it's a nice plane. Beautiful plane. It just sounds. And we'll Yaki boo it right in front of the owl fire station. There should be. Now, park and brake. I don't think there is. Do you know, I don't even think there is a park and brake on this. We can move our rudder pedals, but I don't think there's a park and brake. And there's our ballistic parachute. It's mad, isn't it? Interesting machine, do you know? Anyway, lads, that's going to do it. Could you take off with the canopy open? You probably could. I don't know, is it model that it would break? Don't know, to be honest. We shall see what the crack is. Anyway, lads, I want to thank you so very much indeed for tuning in tonight. We ran a little bit late, but we had lots to cover. It's just been one of those days. One of those days. Will MOZA bring out an overhead panel? I sure hope so. I sure hope so. We're back tomorrow. We're going to be flying in the Caravan, and we're going to be checking out some more with On Air. We're going to have a look at the maintenance area with On Air, just to kind of show what consequences are all about. But we covered a fair whack tonight, lads. Again, great news. Oh, there was something else I forgot to mention. Do you know now with what we have here, right? With SayIntentions. There's a new, anyone who uses SayIntentions, instead of having to, you know the way it'll tell you there's a new download for the app?
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
All the time, right? They now have this new new app, the new downloader. And how it works is you don't need to keep downloading the app. It'll update in the background. See this? It's now updating the hub, fetching remote, and it'll just download all the stuff. And then it'll restart. Cerberus, thank you very, very much indeed for the resub. Thank you very, very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. Tier 1 for 4 months. Lads, the support tonight, by the way, absolutely incredible. I cannot thank you enough. We're hunting down this this 300 points, whatever it is, for, whatchamacallit, our sub streak, right? And well, yous are absolute legends because we're doing very, very well with it. So I want to thank you all so terribly, terribly much. Yous are a great bunch of lads. So thank you for that. But yeah, SayIntentions, they also have a new app. I think Gibbo only said this a while ago. He was saying, like, you know, the way they update the app, is there any way to do it that you don't need to keep having to download it, reinstall it? They've now listened to us and they've done it. There's a brand new way in which you download and update the app. You just download it once and then it just updates itself through its own little updater. So again, they're making things way better, way easier to use. It's just class. It's absolutely class. All our checklists are there as well. And then we have all these reports, likelihoods and stuff. I love SayIntentions, man. I love what they're doing. There's just so much cool stuff in there. But yeah, that's a great update from the app as well, where we can load stuff in. I think it's brilliant, you know. But anyway, I'm away to bed. We're back in the morning. We'll be live in, we're live in 11 hours. So I'll see you in the morning, where I'll be as fresh as a daisy. Yes, I will. After a good night's sleep, no doubt, you know. But we're busy tomorrow, so we have to plan our VATS and flight as well tomorrow night. But we covered some nice ground. Massive thanks to Zach for joining us from MOZA. Always great having Zach on the channel, keeping us up to date, what he gets up to, and of course what MOZA are doing. And we covered a fair bit now with the news, the updates on SayIntentions, the Commander 114, the Sting S4 from FSReborn, and of course the new UK2000 Dundee. More stuff coming next week for the news, including the Rafale. We'll be checking that one out. And then tomorrow at 1000 Zulu is going to be some on-air flying. So do be sure to catch us there. And then we've VATS and flight tomorrow night. So thank you all so very much for tuning in. Your support, as always, is incredible. Many thanks for the raids as well, Ali. Really appreciate it. And to everyone who has joined us here tonight, thanks a million, lads. And sorry for last night. I hate missing live streams. I despise it immensely. Couldn't be helped, I know, but still, thanks for putting up with me, you know. So, right, good luck to you now. We'll see you tomorrow. Think about it now, right? I'll sing it for you. Everybody's looking at my tight pants. He's got his tight pants. He's got his tight pants on. I'm actually not wearing tight pants at all. No, they're loosey-gooseys. Do you know, they're the in-house joggings or yoggings. I think it's a soft J. They're the in-house yoggings. Few men even consider the